Chapter 237. The Celestial Dog Clan, one of the 5 great bloodlines. Legend has it that in ancient times, the celestial dog swallowed the sun and underwent a huge mutation, thus giving birth to the Celestial Dog Clan. In terms of the control of fire and the talent for fire, apart from the divine beasts born from nature, the Celestial Dog Clan is worthy of the title top class among the magical beasts. Born with the strength of an emperor-level magical beast, able to transform in childhood, Lin Feng was shocked as he read this short introduction. The 5 great bloodlines recorded the magical beast clans with the greatest talent for the 5 great bloodlines. For example, the 5-clawed Golden Dragon clan with the talent for metal, the Dragon Elephant Turtle clan with the talent for earth, and the strongest magical beast clan with the talent for fire. It was the Celestial Dog Clan. The Black Mist Demonic Dragon was only a king-level magical beast when it was young. Even when it reached the peak of adulthood, it would still be extremely difficult for it to transform. However, the Celestial Dog Clan was born with the strength of an emperor-level magical beast, and was able to transform in childhood. It was extremely terrifying. Reading between the lines, Lin Feng could tell that the so-called transformation of the magical beasts was actually a huge threshold. It represented a new level of life for the magical beasts. In all the introductions, there was no mention of transformation. Evidently, the importance of transformation was unquestionable. The difference in bloodlines is truly enormous. Lin Feng sighed. The difference between a middle-class bloodline and one of the 5 great bloodlines is enormous. Lin Feng shook his head. He wanted to search for the 4 great bloodlines, but he couldn't find any records. It was as if they were deliberately erased or shielded. Perhaps the experts of the 4 great bloodlines are unwilling to be recorded. Or perhaps with their strength, they can no longer be considered magical beasts. Lin Feng smiled indifferently and didn't mind. Presumably, with the level of the 4 supreme bloodlines, they were lofty existences even in the Do Ling world. How could it be something that he could imagine? It was like the difference between the Black Mist Demonic Dragon and the Celestial Dog Clan. It was incomparably enormous. The record of magical beasts was indeed very thick. But Lin Feng didn't spend much time browsing and memorizing the types of magical beasts. The vast majority of demonic beasts were emperor-level demonic beasts and below. Condensing an inner core was their limit. A limited bloodline would greatly limit one's talent. The Dragon Clan is indeed powerful. Even the weakest of the Dragon Clan would definitely be an emperor-level existence at the peak of adulthood. None of the dragons have a bloodline lower than the 3rd grade. Even the weakest of them, such as the Azure Ironback Dragon, has an inferior 3rd grade bloodline. And the Golden Tyrannosaurus Rex that was killed by the heaven-breaking martial god was a mid-rank 3 bloodline. Lin Feng murmured softly. What he really needed to pay attention to was the biggest enemy in the beast riot, a dragon with the strength of an emperor. The strength of the Dragon Clan did not lie in their individual strength, but in their numbers. There were almost no weaklings in any of the dragon races. Any dragon could reach the monarch level and have the opportunity to transform. If magical beasts that had transformed were truly powerful, then the dragons, they would have an incomparably huge base. Perhaps it was difficult for them to transform, but there were many of them. In other words, there were naturally many who could successfully transform. Compared to the complexity of the magical beast record, the Illustrated Handbook was much simpler. The Illustrated Handbook was divided into 3 volumes. One was Metal Illustrated Handbook, one was Mineral Illustrated Handbook, and the last was Crystal Illustrated Handbook. Any ore would not only be recorded and explained, but also have diagrams to make it easier to distinguish. Opening the Crystal Illustrated Handbook, Lin Feng browsed through his memories. Dozens of hours later, found it. Lin Feng's eyes lit up. His gaze was focused on a diamond-shaped white crystal. It was the heavenly jewel crystal. He finally found it. Lin Feng was slightly excited as he browsed through it slowly. Heavenly Treasure Crystal, a 7th grade crystal. It is condensed from the soul fog emitted by the Heavenly Treasure Soul Stone Heart. Swallowing and refining it can increase one's soul power. It is suitable for apprentice-level martial artists to absorb and nurture soul cultivator weapons. Lin Feng was stunned. He had guessed that the Heavenly Treasure Crystal could absorb it. Since the white fog, which was the soul fog mentioned in the book, could be absorbed, the Heavenly Treasure Crystal could naturally refine and absorb it as the condensation of essence. But nurturing soul cultivator weapons, what was that? Shaking his head, Lin Feng continued to read Heavenly Treasure Crystal Heart, a 5th grade crystal, also known as the 10,000-year Heavenly Treasure Crystal. After absorbing enough soul fog, the Heavenly Treasure Crystal will undergo a qualitative change, condensing its volume and purifying its energy. The Heavenly Treasure Crystal Heart is widely used to increase the power of soul cultivator weapons. It is suitable for beginner-level martial artists to absorb. Lin Feng nodded thoughtfully. It seemed that when the Heavenly Treasure Crystal reached 10,000 years, it would transform and increase its grade. I wonder if there will be one in the stalactite cave? Lin Feng was curious and expectant. The Heavenly Treasure Crystal Heart was obviously more precious than the Heavenly Treasure Crystal. Thinking in his heart, Lin Feng immediately flipped to the next page. In an instant, his eyes lit up. What he saw was a pitch-black, translucent diamond-shaped crystal. It was very similar to the Heavenly Treasure Crystal, but the color was slightly different. The luster was deeper, and the edges of the crystal had a sharp light, giving people a feeling of an explosive aura. Black Fog Crystal. When the Heavenly Treasure Crystal fuses with the Black Fog Demonic Dragon's Black Fog aura, it will mutate into a Black Fog Crystal, and the strength of the energy it contains will greatly increase. Lin Feng muttered softly, and a flash of light flashed in his eyes. Obviously, this Black Fog Crystal must be in the inner layer of the Heavenly Treasure World. No wonder the Black Fog Demonic Dragon would live in the Heavenly Treasure World. Lin Feng came to a realization. According to the book, the Black Fog Demonic Dragon was born with a dark attribute inner core, and its talent in the path of time was extremely high, so it had a special liking for the Heavenly Treasure Crystal. And indeed, the two had a complementary effect. Reading 10,000 books was better than traveling 10,000 miles. A magical beast record and/or illustrated handbook would only take a few hours in the real world. Lin Feng had transformed into a magical beast expert and an/or expert. After returning to the stalactite cave, everything seemed to have become different. The change in perspective. So the stone walls here contain the 9th grade iron Oregon. No wonder it's so hard. Lin Feng chuckled, stepped on the green crystal under his feet, and felt a cool and comfortable feeling. This is the 8th grade jadeite ore, a material for refining. This stalactite cave was indeed a treasure cave. Although there were many ores, there was no corresponding manufacturing process, and it was different from crystals. Crystals could often be used directly, such as the Heavenly Treasure Crystal and the Black Fog Crystal. They could be directly swallowed, refined, and absorbed. But ores were a type of raw material. They needed to be processed and condensed before they could be used. It's a pity that there's no introduction to this strange stalactite. Lin Feng felt that it was a pity. It seems that these stalactites were formed because of some special fusion. Otherwise, with the complete or illustrated handbook, there's no reason for it to be left out. Lin Feng nodded his head lightly. He thought for a moment, then his eyes lit up. Since the Heavenly Treasure Crystal can be swallowed and refined, then the stalactite contains the energy of heaven and earth, so it should be able to be swallowed and refined as well. Let's give it a try. Lin Feng immediately felt a sense of anticipation. Hua! His right hand moved lightly, and a half-palm-sized stalactite landed in his palm. Lin Feng's eyes lit up when he sensed the rich natural energy within it. Without any hesitation, he swallowed it into his stomach. Instantly, a cool feeling came from his waist, and the two auras quickly spread out, quickly spreading. Phew! Lin Feng took a deep breath, and felt a pure energy flow into his brain. His soul heart spun rapidly, and soul power surrounded it. Lin Feng's eyes lit up. As expected, one of the auras is very similar to the soul fog. Absorbing it could increase soul power. Most importantly, he didn't need to use the mystery of souls, and could directly absorb it. What did this mean? The other aura with life energy flowed through his meridians, and in the blink of an eye, it spread throughout his body, nourishing his body. His skin and bones were constantly strengthened, and the cell division increased its activity. The most obvious change was that his body's quality was greatly improved. What a strange life energy! Lin Feng muttered. The energy that could grow the fruit of life was indeed extraordinary. Similarly, it was passively absorbed. In less than half an incense's time, the half-palm-sized stalactite was completely absorbed. Lin Feng's eyes sparkled, and a smile appeared on his face. He was very satisfied. Indeed, misfortune may be a blessing in disguise. Is there a better training place than this? Lin Feng smiled and shook his head. Somehow, he came to this stalactite cave, as if it was the arrangement of the heavens, guiding him on this path. The soul fog, the stalactite, it was as if they were tailor-made for him. Just right. Consciousness doppelganger. Lin Feng's eyes shone brightly. Two identical bodies stared at each other with a scorching look in their eyes. Training begin. Black Fog Demonic Dragon Valley. The densely packed black fog demonic dragons formed circle after circle, forming a pitch-black terror that even covered the sky. But strangely, it was silent. All the black fog demonic dragons lowered their heads, as if they were submitting. Only one voice sounded, a bunch of trash. It was an extremely angry voice. If Lin Feng heard it, he would be shocked, because it was the language of the Do Ling world. It was a tall and sturdy man with a height of nearly 10 meters. He had a sharp horn on his forehead and his whole body was covered in shiny black scales. The most surprising thing was that he had a tail. A huge dragon tail. This was a dragon-shaped person. I don't dare to pay any price. Use all your strength to catch that human. An angry and majestic voice came out of the burly man's mouth. Suddenly, thousands of black fog demonic dragons roared, and the shocking roar seemed to shake the sky. Bang! Bang! Rumble with a violent vibration, the black fog demonic dragons scattered and flew away, looking for traces of that human. The burly man stood upright, his eyes flashing with a fierce light. The thick dragon tail on his back slapped the ground, and every time it slapped the ground, it left a deep mark on the hard ore. The aura he gave off was extremely shocking. He was the king of the black fog demonic dragons. Refined teeth. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to Chidian. Come to vote for me. Your support is my biggest motivation. Chapter 238. Lin Feng had temporarily settled down. In fact, he had no choice but to settle down. After all, the world outside was too dangerous. It was like a scholar without the strength to truss a chicken entering the land of primordial beasts. Luck would not be so good every time. Only strength was the fundamental law of survival. Day after day, cultivation was very dry and boring. However, collecting heavenly treasure crystals brought him quite a pleasant surprise. Nearly 100 fifth-grade heavenly treasure crystal cores, plus tens of thousands of heavenly treasure crystals, more than 1 million heavenly treasure points. It was exciting. Moreover, the increase in strength was extremely fast. His main body swallowed and refined the stalactites. Not only did it strengthen his weak human soul, but it also strengthened his body, which had already reached the limit, to an even more abnormal state. However, what truly determined one's strength was the life soul, the weapon of a 3-star soul cultivator, Aurora All. Phew, Lin Feng let out a long breath. Let's test the strength of the life soul. Lin Feng stood up and walked forward. He muttered softly, I wonder if I can break through to the second stage. In front of Lin Feng was a strange device. It was 3 meters tall and 2 meters wide. The huge flat board emitted a metallic luster. Its unique structure was extremely beautiful. On both sides of the screen, 2 chimney-like crystal pillars were extremely dazzling. Life Soul Testing Device. Price, 100,000 starlight points. After a long and deep breath, Lin Feng's eyes emitted a faint light. His heart was as calm as dust. He stretched out his hands and placed them in the 2 empty mechanical holes of the Life Soul Testing Device. In an instant, buzz, buzz, as if struck by an electric current, his body trembled slightly. The soul power in his mind fluctuated rapidly. His soul heart spun extremely quickly. Instantly, the chimney-like crystal pillar lit up brightly. It went from transparent to red and slowly deepened. Bit. Lin Feng's eyes were cold and sharp. His soul heart spun at its maximum speed. Pa! The crystal pillar's color suddenly changed. The faint yellow color was as bright as starlight. The second stage. Lin Feng's tense expression finally relaxed. He let out a long breath as if a heavy burden had been lifted off his shoulders. Next to the whirlpool, he practiced the 4th page of The Secret of Soul for 7 consecutive days and finally obtained a good result. The strength of his life soul, also known as his soul heart, had reached the 2nd stage. Not only had his control over his soul force improved, but his strength had also increased. Most importantly, he could finally use the 2nd form of the Aurora All. The Aurora All had 7 forms. Every time his soul heart leveled up, he would be able to cultivate one of them. Lin Feng opened the Aurora Secret Manual and read it carefully. 2nd form, Crescent Arc. Only those who have reached the 2nd stage of the soul heart can cultivate and form a half-moon. Lin Feng savored every word carefully. After the brief introduction, it was the abstruse and difficult control technique. It was simple but incomparably refined. This not only required a considerable amount of comprehension, but also required continuous practice until one completely grasped the trick. As the strength of the life soul increases, the power of the Aurora All will also increase. Just like how an increase in strength could increase the attack power of a weapon, the principle was similar. And the 2nd form has a stronger attack power than the 1st form. Lin Feng's eyes burned. If I can cultivate the Crescent Arc, my combat power will greatly increase compared to 7 days ago. It will increase by several times or even 10 times. Lin Feng clenched his fist as a cold light flashed in his eyes. If he could have easily killed the rank 2 dense fog beast king that day, everything would have been much simpler. The real trouble was the dense fog beast king that was everywhere like a mad dog. Hunting it down was his primary goal. In the stalactite cave, the paths inside were complicated. There were many empty caves. One of them became the place where Lin Feng cultivated the Aurora All. Although it was a cave, it was still a few hundred meters long and wide. It was not inferior to the cultivation room at all. The stalactites inside had long been harvested. Such a natural treasure naturally could not be wasted. Hua! A faint light flashed. Lin Feng took out the Aurora All. The diamond-shaped metal emitted an exquisite light. My senses have become stronger. Lin Feng's eyes brightened. As the level of his soul heart increased, he could feel his control increasing. Suddenly, the Aurora All floated up and spun rapidly with a terrifying sound, forming a circle of cold light. The faint silver light dimmed along with the dusk. In an instant, the surrounding air was sliced apart, forming a huge vacuum. It was extremely powerful. But, instantly, the Aurora All's senses were cut off. No. Lin Feng shook his head. The crescent arc and the aurora arc are two completely different types of control. I can't mix them up. Lin Feng's right hand flashed and the aurora all appeared. Try again. Lin Feng's eyes focused. The aurora all appeared again. The buzzing sound was extremely intense, but Lin Feng's expression was still solemn. Failure. The aurora all returned to his hand. Try again. Again and again. He continued to learn and fumble in the midst of failure. Although he didn't have a teacher, Lin Feng's comprehension had always been very strong. The first time he cultivated the aurora arc, he reached the beginner level in one night. When he fought with the scarlet pheasant, he could already unleash 80% of its power. And now, crescent, the aurora all spun rapidly. The extremely strong centrifugal force increased the speed of the aurora all's attack power. In an instant, Lin Feng's eyes lit up. But the aurora all spun violently and split into two halves. It was the same rhombus shape, but it spun even faster and more irregularly. The huge cold light circle increased instead of decreasing. In an instant, the terrifying vacuum suddenly increased under the influence of the two rhombus-shaped cold lights. Crescent arc! Lin Feng shouted. Clang! Clang! Two extremely intense sounds broke through the air. The aurora all flew out as fast as lightning. However, Lin Feng's brows were tightly knitted together. Purring! With a violent explosion, a 3-meter deep hole appeared in the hard stone wall formed by the black iron ore. However, Lin Feng shook his head. His right hand flashed gently, and the two rhombus-shaped metals instantly appeared and merged into one. Failure! He had completely failed to control it. With my current life-soul power, I can only control it to the edge. Lin Feng thought to himself. It was like a person who could carry 100 jin, but was barely able to lift 100 jin of goods. No matter how much I train, mastering the technique is useless. Increasing my life-soul power and easily controlling 2 attacks is the most correct method. Lin Feng's eyes flashed. His thoughts were very clear. Instead of thinking about how to carry 100 jin of goods, it was the most efficient and convenient method. It was better to increase his own weight to 150 jin or even higher. Mastering the essence of the key. 7 days later. With a bit of confidence, Lin Feng smiled faintly. The aurora all in his hand flashed with a cold light. The crescent sound was like the sound of nature. Instantly, pa! The 2 streaks of cold light flew away as soon as they split apart. Like lightning, they struck down with a loud bang. Crescent moon arc! Lin Feng shouted coldly. He opened his hands and crossed them with a loud bang. Instantly, the aurora all flew in a crescent arc. 2 huge silver halos burst out and rose into the sky. 0.5 meter, 10 meters, 100 meters. In an instant, it increased to the limit. The surrounding stone wall shattered into pieces. In an instant, the 2 crescent arcs crossed in the middle like a huge X shining with cold light. Boom! A violent tremor. The stones at the top shook and fell. However, under the terrifying cold light, they were completely crushed into powder. The power is quite strong. Lin Feng revealed a faint smile. It was stronger than he had expected. It was 10 times stronger than before. A huge hole appeared in the stone wall in front of him. Lin Feng's shocking attack was deeply imprinted in it. Lin Feng's eyes sparkled. He was very satisfied. He clenched his fist. As his right hand flashed with cold light, suddenly, the aurora all appeared again. When I completely master it, it will be time for me to leave the cave. Lin Feng's eyes lit up. Again! 2 days later. Outside the cave, a figure appeared. I'm out. Lin Feng floated in the air. He let out a long sigh. It had only been half a month, but it felt like a lifetime ago. The sound of the waterfall flowing behind him entered his ears. It was pleasant and refreshing. Lin Feng smiled. The slight curve of his lips was filled with confidence. The current him had a great increase in strength. His mind's eye instantly spread out. It was like a huge spider web unrestrained. On Lin Feng's neck, a faint starlight flickered. If one looked carefully, there was a thin layer of fog around Lin Feng's body, completely covering his body. 3-star spirit treasure, fog concealing talisman. It only had one function, which was to hide one's aura. However, it was worth a total of 1,000,000 starlight points. This was because the fog concealment talisman did not hide one's aura in the ordinary sense. Instead, it could hide one's aura at any time. This included flying at full speed, and also when using the mind's eye to detect. Unless the enemy's strength was much higher than his own, or if he had other higher-level spirit treasures, such as those with detection or search functions. After all, there was a relationship between spirit treasures that restricted and counter-restricted each other. But here, Lin Feng was not afraid at all. Would the dragon race use spirit treasures? There doesn't seem to be a black fog demonic dragon. Lin Feng's lips curled up slightly. As expected, judging from the thinness of the black fog here, there shouldn't be many black fog demonic dragons. The appearance of the black fog crystal was because the heavenly treasure crystal had fused with the aura of the black fog demonic dragon. And the black fog here was thin. Just in time. I can fight without restraint. A faint red light flashed under Lin Feng's feet. Just as he galloped for less than 10,000 meters, suddenly, in the mind's eye, a pitch-black light spot was rapidly approaching him. Is it coming? Lin Feng smiled faintly. The aurora all in his hand flashed with a cold light, and his eyes flashed with a bright light. It's a good opportunity to test the power of the crescent moon arc. Lin Feng's face revealed a confident smile. Second update, third update 1:30 a.m. I'm going all out. Every weekend I'm tired. My wife and daughter are at home. I can't calm down to write. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to Chidian. Come to vote for me. Your support is my biggest motivation. Chapter 239. Fog Beast King. It had copper skin and iron bones, a heaven-defying defense. What entered his sight was a pair of eyes filled with hostility, shining in the dark night. Ho ho! The aurora all left his hand. As if it was alive, it floated in the air and quietly rotated, accumulating power. Lin Feng's expression was very calm. After continuous practice, he had already perfectly mastered the second form of the aurora all and could control it with ease. Although he might not be able to use 100% of its power, at the very least, he could use 90% of its power with practice. In front of him, that huge lion head impressively entered his eyes, and the 2 black rings outside its body were incomparably clear. Rank 2 Fog Beast King. It's you. Lin Feng's eyes flashed with a strong light. The one who had almost killed him that day was this extremely troublesome Rank 2 Fog Beast King. But that was then, and this was now. Zizizi, in an instant, the aurora all rotated nearly 10 times faster, and a fierce illusion appeared. Lin Feng's eyes were filled with a fierce light. With a pause sound, the aurora all instantly split apart, and a dazzling cold light burst out in an instant. 2 astonishing crescent-shaped arcs continued to spread out, occupying an extremely large area of vacuum, drawing an extremely beautiful crescent-shaped arc. Chi! Chi! The Fog Beast King whistled like a gust of wind. But in an instant, crescent moon arc. Lin Feng's eyes shone brightly like stars. A huge cold light covered the sky, and the X-shaped half-moon arc was enlarged to the limit, and a fierce halo enveloped the entire area. Boom! For the first time, the half-moon arc displayed its true power. It was no longer limited to the hundreds of meters long and wide cave, but covered the entire sky. The cold light illuminated the sky, and the thousands of meters long aurora gave people a feeling of satisfaction. Incisively and vividly. A 6-star spirit wielder weapon, showing its ferocity. Lin Feng's expression was still calm. This was not unexpected. Hua! The white light flickered, and the aurora all returned to his hand, combining into one. The faint diamond-shaped metal was like an obedient child. Lin Feng looked at the light in front of him that gradually dispersed, and the corner of his mouth drew a slight arc. It was a pitch-black crystal, quietly floating in the air. Black fog crystal. Shua! Lin Feng moved his body and grabbed the black fog crystal. He immediately felt a strong and violent aura. It was filled with a power that made one's heart palpitate. However, he felt an indescribable feeling of joy, as if there was an indescribable connection with his body. Connected by blood. This thought inexplicably appeared in his mind, and Lin Feng frowned. What was the connection between him and the black mist crystal? Strange. It won't be too late to study it when we get back. Lin Feng wasn't in a hurry. The red light under his feet flickered again, and he instantly sped forward. The red light turned into a streak of fiery red light. It was a sharp, conical metallic object that was emitting a sparkling luster. 3-star spirit treasure, urgent fire shuttle. Value, 1 million starlight points. It was a pure flying-type treasure, but its flying speed was astounding. If you want to do a good job, you must first sharpen your tools. If you want to explore the inner layer of the heavenly treasures world, you must be fully prepared. Lin Feng deeply understood this principle. Once bitten, twice shy. You can't trap a wolf without risking your life. The cloud shuttle was indeed precious, but it was equivalent to Emperor Wu's level. It was equivalent to the Sky Martial Continent. Compared to spirit treasures, it was much worse. Especially spirit treasures that were above 3 stars. They were similar to spirit practitioners' weapons, and had to be controlled by a spirit heart. Just like the difference in price, a 2-star spirit treasure was only 100,000 starlight points, but a 3-star spirit treasure was at least 1 million starlight points. 10 times. Lin Feng, for the first time, swaggered through the inner layer. With the help of the 3-star spirit treasure, fog concealment talisman, and his mind's eye, his safety was relatively high. Another one? Lin Feng was speechless. He originally thought that the black mist crystal was so precious that he had to kill the dense fog beast king to obtain it. However, in less than the time it took for an incense stick to burn, he had already obtained 10 of them, and every one of them wasn't small. If calculated according to heavenly treasure points, they were all around 100 heavenly treasure points. It was quite a sumptuous harvest. In comparison, the dense fog beast king was much poorer. It was the opposite of the outer layer. Could it be that there are more black mist crystals because of the black mist demonic dragon? Lin Feng thought for a moment and instantly shook his head. No, the black mist crystal is a mutation of the heavenly treasure crystal. In other words, it should be a mutation on the basis of the heavenly treasure crystal's formation. It has nothing to do with the quantity. But Lin Feng was puzzled when his mind's eye sensed another wave of energy. The urgent fire shuttle instantly changed direction, and a light flashed in front of him. Lin Feng gently grabbed with his right hand and instantly, "There's one more." Lin Feng smiled bitterly. "Why do you want to do that? If there's one, just take it." Since he couldn't think of an answer, Lin Feng smiled and dismissed it. However, he didn't know that it was just like when the commander entered the outer layer of the heavenly treasure world to explore. Lin Feng entering the inner layer was also considered an exploration. The benefits were quite good. Even Lin Feng's mood became extremely good. Unexpectedly, it was easy. He didn't know if it was because of his good luck or because there weren't many black mist demonic dragons here, but he couldn't even smell the black mist demonic dragon's aura after rushing towards the outer layer for an hour. Instead, he killed 2 more fog beast kings. One was rank 1 and the other was rank 2. As for the black mist crystals, Lin Feng didn't even bother to count them. There were too many. The defense of a fog beast king is about 4 times that of a fog beast of the same rank. Lin Feng secretly compared and had a vague idea. A rank 2 fog beast's defense is equivalent to a rank 2 emperor-level magical beast, but a fog beast king's defense is 4 times stronger. In other words, a rank 2 fog beast king's defense is equivalent to a rank 4 emperor-level magical beast. Lin Feng's eyes brightened. Perhaps I can already injure the weakest black mist demonic dragon. From the magical beast record, Lin Feng learned that the black mist demonic dragon became an emperor-level magical beast as soon as it reached adulthood. Moreover, it wasn't rank 1. It was rank 3. This was a rank 2 intermediate bloodline. But injuring and killing were 2 completely different concepts. Moreover, it was only injuring in theory. In a real battle, how could the black mist demonic dragon allow itself to be slaughtered? Perhaps. Lin Feng's eyes brightened. Let's find a black mist demonic dragon and give it a try? A crazy idea rose in his mind. Lin Feng's eyes flashed with a fiery light. There was an uncontrollable excitement. He wanted to fight. He wanted to have a real battle with the black mist demonic dragon and see how strong he was now. If I use the fog concealing talisman to hide my presence, unless the black mist demonic dragon is much stronger than me, I definitely won't be discovered. Lin Feng was deep in thought. The more he thought about it, the more he felt that it was possible. At worst, he could just run away. What was there to be afraid of? My soul heart is rank 2, which is equivalent to a rank 2 emperor-level magical beast. If I control the quickfire shuttle, the rank 3 or 4 black mist demonic dragon definitely won't be able to catch up to me. He could attack or retreat. What was there to hesitate about? Slaying a dragon? Just thinking about it was an extremely crazy thing to do. In the Sky Martial Continent, only one person had done it, and that was the heaven-breaking martial god. And now, he was going to give it a try. Slaying a dragon, what was it like? The weakest black mist demonic dragon should be a rank 3 emperor-level magical beast. Lin Feng thought. Galloping in the boundless black mist, Lin Feng's mind's eye scouted the surroundings, his eyes emitting a clear luster. The road had to be walked step by step, not to mention slaying a dragon, starting from the weakest one. However, if I really want to find one, it won't be easy. Lin Feng chuckled. In his senses, another 2 black mist crystal stones appeared. The quickfire shuttle under his feet changed, and Lin Feng appeared as if he teleported, harvesting another 2. The more the better. In terms of swallowing effects, the black mist crystal stone is definitely better than the heavenly treasure crystal stone. Lin Feng thought. This point could be seen from the difference between the dense mist beast and the dense mist beast king. Moreover, the black mist crystal stone was a 5th grade crystal stone, while the heavenly treasure crystal stone was only a 4th grade crystal stone. Just as he put it into the purple amethyst ring, suddenly, Lin Feng's expression changed slightly. His eyes instantly lit up. A strong enemy! But it wasn't the black mist demonic dragon. There was only one type that could discover him. Dense Mist Beast King. Rank 3 Dense Mist Beast King. Lin Feng's eyes flashed with a bright light. Under the huge lion head, 3 black circles of light were extremely bright. Its aura was much more terrifying than the rank 2 Dense Mist Beast King. Fight. Without any hesitation, Lin Feng's eyes lit up. Buzz buzz. The aurora all appeared. A cold light appeared. An extremely loud sound broke through the air, and a violent rotation. The silver circle of light expanded to the limit, forming a huge vacuum. Half-moon arc! Lin Feng shouted. But the aurora all instantly split into 2 halves, and the cold light spun even faster. The silver circle of light drew a huge arc in the shape of a half-moon, forming astonishing arcs on both sides of the body. 10 meters, 100 meters, the arcs expanded to the extreme. Facing the fierce attack of the dense mist beast king, In an instant, its power was fully displayed. Boom! A huge X shape appeared in the air. Lin Feng's expression slightly darkened, and a huge reaction force attacked his mind. If using the half-moon arc to kill the rank 2 dense Mist Beast King was like cutting a piece of tofu, then now, he had to use all his strength to cut a huge piece of iron. Clang! An astonishing piercing sound rang out. Under this attack, the rank 3 dense Mist Beast King didn't die, but it was seriously injured. 2 extremely deep wounds were very eye-catching. At this moment, a light appeared on Lin Feng's right hand again. The second attack. Half-moon arc. Lin Feng's eyes flashed coldly, and a terrifying sound broke through the air like lightning. It was filled with extreme killing intent. June. A huge X shape shone in the sky. The rank 3 dense Mist Beast King died tragically. A black mist crystal flashed with a black light, dazzling everyone's eyes. Just as Lin Feng moved his body, his expression changed abruptly. A shocking dragon roar rang out beside his ear, sounding like thunder. Looking into the distance, it was a huge black shadow that covered the sky. It's finally here. Lin Feng's eyes were cold and bright. Black Mist Demonic Dragon. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to Chidian.com to vote for me. Your support is my biggest motivation. Chapter 240. Although he had the fog-concealing talisman to hide his aura, the battle would still bring about huge fluctuations. With the powerful strength of the black fog demonic dragon, it could sense him from so far away that day, let alone now. Roar! A roaring sound was heard. A huge black dragon was circling in the sky. Its huge body was terrifying, and its exquisite scales were shining with a cold light. Its back was bone-piercing, and its black scaled wings spread out, bringing with them a violent gust of wind. In comparison, Lin Feng was like a small stone in the mountains, unremarkable. But the size of the body didn't represent everything. Whoosh! Lin Feng rose against the wind, and his eyes flashed with battle intent. His blood seemed to be boiling. The pitch-black dragon in front of him was the native of this place, the legendary dragon race. Black Fog Demonic Dragon. 3rd level Emperor Realm. Lin Feng's eyes shone. The Black Fog Demonic Dragon was recorded very clearly in the Magical Beast record. Its body length of 5,000 meters was the 3rd level, and 6,000 meters was the 4th level. Fight! Lin Feng's aura surged. The surging in his heart caused his soul to revolve violently. In an instant, Lin Feng focused his mind. Facing this unprecedentedly strong enemy, his eyes were filled with incomparable determination. The aurora all in his hand whistled and spun violently, and the sound was like rolling thunder. Pa! It cracked rapidly, and silver light bloomed crazily. Lin Feng's eyes shone incomparably. At this moment, the Black Fog Demonic Dragon felt the threat from Lin Feng. It stopped roaring, and the Black Fog Demonic Dragon's cold eyes were filled with a fierce light. It was as if it was extremely angry that a little reptile dared to provoke it. How dare you? However, newborn calves were not afraid of tigers. To Lin Feng, no matter how famous the dragon race was, it was still a magical beast. What was there to fear? Crescent Moon Arc. Lin Feng's eyes shone like stars. The huge crescent arc burst out like lightning, and the astonishing aura and energy condensed to the extreme in an instant. The extremely fierce vacuum area surged with the sound of wind, and the terrifying airflow instantly changed the expression of the black mist demon dragon, and it let out a shrill roar. Roar! The black fog demon dragon's surroundings instantly became hazy with black fog. Suddenly, a huge black ball of light burst out of the black mist demon dragon's mouth. Its enormous body actually displayed astonishing explosive power, and its speed far exceeded Lin Feng's expectations. This black fog. Lin Feng's expression changed. However, he reacted in an instant. The energy of heaven and earth rapidly circled around his body, forming a spiral current. Lin Feng's eyes lit up as he saw the black fog demonic dragon's speed double. It was almost out of the attack range of the half-moon arc. He roared, "Space deceleration!" A huge and majestic power instantly wrapped around the black fog demonic dragon, and it felt as if it had sunk into a quagmire. Its power increased again. Lin Feng could clearly feel the power of his secret technique. At this moment, the half-moon arc and the black ball of light almost instantly reached each other. An extremely fierce collision. Boom! It was like lightning striking the earth, like a python meeting a fierce tiger. The intense collision caused turbulence in the air. The black mist demon dragon's crazed roar pierced through the sky. Lin Feng could faintly hear countless dragon roars resonating around him. It was calling for its companions. Lin Feng's expression instantly changed. Although the attack just now had heavily injured the black mist demon dragon, the shockingly fierce collision had also caused his soul to tremble. He had completely lost control of the Aurora All, and the scene had become extremely chaotic. Blood splattered everywhere. A drop of bright red dragon blood splashed onto the dragon-killing spear on his back. Instantly, something strange happened. Ning! Ning! It sounded like a joyful cry, but also like a cry of surprise. The dragon-killing spear shook violently. Lin Feng instantly felt an unimaginable power. The feeling of being devoured spread from the scabbard on his back to his spine, straight to his heart. It was a desire for battle. It was a boiling power. Dragon-killing spear? Dragon-killing spear. Lin Feng's hair stood on end. In an instant, he seemed to understand everything. Ning! With a shocking vibration, a red glow appeared on his left hand. The Qilin fire centipede was pushed to the limit. Deep green flames gathered at the tip of the spear, causing the dragon-killing spear, which seemed to be glowing with life, to become even more ferocious. The majestic battle intent and power had completely exceeded his expectations and control. Facing the black mist demon dragon, which was right in front of him, Lin Feng instantly turned into a shooting star. The body was the spear. The two had completely become one. At this moment, Lin Feng truly understood the true meaning of man and spear becoming one. The flowing light flashed, and the spear's power was unleashed to the extreme. Unstoppable! Lin Feng descended from the sky. Ning! Deep primordial fire surged into the black mist demon dragon's huge bloody wound. It burned crazily and exploded to the limit. Like a shooting star, its power was released in an instant. Die! Lin Feng's eyes shone with a cold light. Purring! The dragon-killing spear's pitch-black glow released an astonishing domineering aura. The all-devouring power hungrily absorbed the black mist demon dragon's blood. In an instant, Lin Feng felt his right hand tremble violently. A terrifying power arose. Sizzle sizzle, the black mist demon dragon's blood instantly evaporated. An incomparably mournful roar resounded through the sky. Its huge body seemed to have lost all its strength. The black mist demon dragon's ferocious eyes gradually became lifeless. In an instant, all the blood in its body was sucked dry by the dragon-killing spear. Without the flow of blood, it was as if the backbone of the house had been broken. It collapsed instantly. Its bones and scales were completely crushed. Its skin was broken and torn. It was a horrifying scene. Lin Feng had long been shocked by the dragon-killing spear's transformation. The pitch-black spear in his hand had completely absorbed the dragon's blood. It was as if a qualitative change had occurred. It was as if life had been sublimated. The secret that had been hidden all this time was finally revealed. The dragon-killing spear. It was born for the purpose of slaying dragons. Roar! Roar! An incomparably furious roar sounded from the horizon. Although Lin Feng did not understand what it meant, he could completely understand that it was an extreme anger. Its pride was trampled. The black mist demon dragon's high and mighty glory was trampled under the feet of a puny human at this moment. "Let's go." Lin Feng's eyes flashed. He did not stay any longer. He was about to leave. Suddenly, Lin Feng felt his heart tremble. He looked over and saw that there seemed to be a special energy in the black mist demon dragon's corpse that was falling down. It shone faintly and emitted energy that made his blood boil. Inner core. Lin Feng's eyes lit up. With a thought, the aurora all and the extreme rotation appeared. Riding on the urgent fire shuttle, Lin Feng soared into the sky like a beam of light. The aurora all slashed lightly and instantly broke through the black mist demon dragon's skin and scales that had lost all luster. An astonishing energy was suddenly emitted. It was a huge pitch-black inner core. Whoosh! With a flash of light, Lin Feng instantly put it into the dark purple ring and flew away. In an instant, he disappeared without a trace. 10 seconds later, one after another, the black fog demonic dragons arrived. Their pitch-black bodies covered the entire sky. Looking at the dead black mist demon dragon that had lost its inner core, the black mist demon dragons roared into the sky and let out miserable cries. It was an extremely sorrowful emotion. At this moment, Lin Feng had already escaped. While those furious black mist demon dragons were crazily searching for the culprit, Lin Feng had already returned to the stalactite cave. This place was quite hidden and was completely covered by the waterfall. Plus, the cave entrance was only so big. Even if those black mist demon dragons could find the cave, they would not be able to enter. In the vast black mist demonic dragon valley, it was not an easy task to find a tiny human being. It is indeed convenient to have the fog-concealing talisman. Lin Feng smiled. If not for the fog-concealing talisman, how could he have easily escaped the pursuit of the black mist demon dragons? Not to mention 10 seconds, even if he had 60 seconds, he might still leave a trace and be chased by the powerful black mist demon dragons for thousands of miles. But it was worth it. Clenching his fist, Lin Feng's eyes shone with a clear fighting spirit. He was extremely excited. Dragon slaying. This was a true dragon slaying. What he was slaying was not the earth dragons or flying dragons, but a powerful member of the dragon clan. A black mist demon dragon with a rank 2 middle bloodline. Slaying a dragon was an extremely glorious thing. It was a golden key that could prove the strength of an expert. The dragon clan is not invincible. Lin Feng's eyes flashed. This battle was indeed very dangerous, but it was also somewhat lucky. The black mist demon dragon's strength was unexpectedly strong. If it wasn't for the dragon-slaying spear, he would have only been able to heavily injure the black mist demonic dragon and escape before the other black mist demonic dragons arrived. Otherwise, his life would have been in danger. And this time, he was facing a rank 3 emperor-level black mist demon dragon. What if it was stronger? Lin Feng could not help but let out a long sigh. That black mist is too scary. Lin Feng's eyes flashed. Thinking back to the battle just now, the black mist demon dragon's black mist made his hair stand on end. It was extremely terrifying. The black mist demon dragon had almost turned the situation around. Under the cover of the black mist, the speed of the crescent moon arc decreased by a bit, and its power weakened by a bit. On the other hand, the black mist demon dragon's speed increased by a bit. After one back and forth, the advantage was gone. If he had not used the deceleration space, the outcome would have been unpredictable. Is this the Tao of time? Lin Feng muttered to himself. According to the demon beast record, the black mist demon dragon had a dark attribute inner core and was extremely talented in the Tao of time. Yes, a dark attribute inner core. Lin Feng's eyes instantly lit up. The pitch-black inner core shone brightly, and its luster was crystal clear. It was like an exquisite black pearl, but the powerful energy of the heavens and the earth was unstoppable, densely covering the entire inner core. Lin Feng's expression kept changing. From the inner core, he could completely sense the pure energy. The energy of the heavens and the earth. It was very similar to what he had absorbed in the Tao of nothingness. The blood in his body seemed to be boiling, and the feeling of being connected by blood was incomparably deep. Immediately, Lin Feng thought of the black mist crystal. It was exactly the same. No, it was 100 times, 1,000 times stronger. Black mist, inner core, the Tao of time. Lin Feng muttered to himself. In an instant, all the doubts in his mind disappeared. It was as if the dark clouds had disappeared, and the sky became incomparably bright. Suddenly, everything became clear. So, I have mastered the Tao of time. Lin Feng was stunned. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to Qidian.com to vote for me. Your support is my biggest motivation. Chapter 241. All this time, Lin Feng was confused about his ability. Even though it was very powerful, it did not belong to the 5 great origin energies. That day in the Dragonai's ancient ruins, he did not walk on the 5-colored bridge that represented the origin energies. Instead, one of the 4 void bridges. In the magical beast record, there were a total of 1.08 billion magical beasts in the Douling world, each with their own unique characteristic. For example, the Black Mist demonic dragon had talent in the Tao of time. Another example was the King Kong ant, which had talent in the Tao of strength. Many magical beasts with bloodlines of level 3 and above had unique talents. Among them, the word Tao was mentioned many times. The Tao of time, Tao of space, Tao of strength, Tao of spirit. Lin Feng's eyes shone. There were a total of 4 Tao mentioned, just like the 4 paths of cultivation. Before the battle with the Black Mist demonic dragon, Lin Feng did not know what it meant. But now, he deeply understood. So, the so-called Tao is actually a type of energy of heaven and earth, an attribute of the soul heart, or direction. Lin Feng's eyes shone brightly. During this period of cultivation, he clearly understood that the cultivation of the soul heart was actually the process of absorbing the energy of heaven and earth to strengthen the life soul. Just like how metal, wood, water, fire, and earth were the 5 most fundamental energies of heaven and earth, they formed the foundation of cultivation. Then, time, space, strength, and spirit, these 4 energies of heaven and earth, were a path. The path of cultivation. Lin Feng was enlightened. Looking at the black inner core in his hand, it was shiny and translucent. Lin Feng's eyes shone brightly. Obviously, this feeling of being connected by blood was a kind of connection of Tao. The inner core of a magical beast was actually similar to the soul heart of a warrior. What will happen if I swallow and refine it? A crazy idea appeared in Lin Feng's mind, but he hesitated. Once upon a time, he accidentally ate the dragon essence, and almost caused a tragedy. The thing of a dragon was obviously not that easy to digest. Especially the inner core, which was the essence of a dragon. The heaven and earth energy in this dantian is of the same type as my soul heart. It should be able to increase my soul heart. Perhaps the effect will be quite good. Lin Feng muttered in his heart and frowned slightly. He knew very well that this was an opportunity and a challenge. But at the same time, it was also quite dangerous. The essence energy of a dragon, the source of cultivation, how could it be a joke? The slightest mistake could cause him to explode and die. Lin Feng clenched his fists. A trace of hesitation flashed through his eyes. Suddenly, Lin Feng's expression changed slightly as a look of pleasant surprise appeared on his face. Black mist crystal. Lin Feng's eyes lit up. A black, translucent, diamond-shaped crystal appeared in his hand. As he held it in his hand, there was a similar feeling of blood connection. However, compared to the feeling of the Niden, there was a huge difference. Just like the difference between coarse iron ore and refined iron ore, the purity was different. Black mist crystal, made from the black mist demon dragon's black mist. Lin Feng thought to himself. If the black mist demon dragon's dantian could increase the level of his soul heart, then the black mist crystal could too. Let's give it a try. Lin Feng nodded. Compared to the hesitation of the Niden, the black mist crystal didn't make him feel any danger. After swallowing it, Lin Feng's eyes flashed. Instantly, an extremely strong mixed energy entered his mind. It had a violent aura, as if it was an intruder. As expected, Lin Feng murmured in his heart. His soul heart spun rapidly. In an instant, the fourth level of the soul heart was displayed. The violent mixed energy was entangled by his soul heart, forming a black mist that revolved around him. I can absorb it. Lin Feng smiled faintly. The energy of the mist was not very strong. It was slowly being assimilated and changed. A part of it turned into soul power, becoming the basic component of the soul heart. The other part turned into the energy of heaven and earth, increasing the soul heart's intrinsic energy. As the soul heart spun, the nebula formed by the energy of heaven and earth seemed to grow a bit. It was like a halo that covered the soul heart. 15 minutes later, Lin Feng opened his eyes with a hint of surprise. The speed of increase is not bad. It's almost twice as efficient as when I was cultivating in the whirlpool. Lin Feng calculated. This doubling of efficiency should be the direct absorption of the energy of heaven and earth. Lin Feng's brows relaxed and thought to himself, in terms of soul power absorption, the two are about the same. But in terms of energy of heaven and earth, the black mist crystal contains far more energy than the soul fog in the whirlpool. Lin Feng clenched his fist. In other words, as long as he had enough black mist crystal, the time it took for his soul heart to reach the third level would be halved. One had to know that the soul fog in the whirlpool was so dense that the energy of heaven and earth was shocking. It was already an unparalleled, sacred training ground. But now, in addition to this shocking and terrifying cultivation speed, it was actually able to increase it by another fold. What did that mean? With my current strength, I can only slowly and steadily fight. Lin Feng murmured and nodded. Thinking back to just now, he was glad he didn't act rashly. After absorbing and refining the black mist crystal, he understood what the process was like. Although he could absorb it, he needed assimilation. It was like a conversion of energy. Even if they were of the same element, humans and beasts had different structures and different training systems. Fortunately, the mental cultivation method on the 4th page of the Mystery of Souls was all-encompassing. He could absorb anything, which saved him a lot of trouble. Assimilation requires the support of strength. Lin Feng's eyes flashed. After consuming the black mist demonic dragon's core, my soul heart strength can't be weaker than this core. Lin Feng understood. It was like two generals fighting a war. The loser would submit. He couldn't lose. Black mist demonic dragon valley. In a pitch-black place where nothing could be seen, the thick black mist seemed to want to swallow everything. Pa pa! A huge dragon tail slapped the ground, making a heavy knocking sound. A tall and sturdy man with a height of nearly 10 meters had a cold expression. He had a sharp horn on his forehead, and his whole body was covered in shiny black scales. The king of the Black Mist demonic dragon clan, Lianya. You found traces of that human? Not only did he run away, but one of your companions died? Lianya's cold eyes kept changing. The two Black Mist demonic dragons in front of him bowed their heads. They were obviously terrified. These two Black Mist demonic dragons were around 1,000 meters long. They were extremely mini. Compared to the weakest third-rank Emperor-level Black Mist demonic dragon, which was 5,000 meters long, they looked like children. However, their scales were sharp and shiny. They were extremely tough. The aura they emitted was far stronger than the third-rank Black Mist demonic dragon. Body size didn't represent strength. Just like Lianya. Continue the hunt. The Dragon Valley won't allow a puny human to step in. In this isolated place, he won't be able to escape. Lienya waved his hand and shouted coldly. The two black mist demonic dragons immediately took the order and left. Their huge wings flapped in the air. The whistling wind was accompanied by a roar. It seemed to be issuing Lienya's order to their companions. In the blink of an eye, they disappeared into the horizon. Where did this human come from? Lienya's eyes kept flashing. Those who have the strength to kill my Black Mist demonic dragon clan are at least beginner rank. Although the space barrier is easy to get in but hard to get out, humans above beginner rank shouldn't be able to enter. Lienya's huge dragon tail kept slamming on the ground. His cold eyes flashed with the light of wisdom. Shaking his head, Lienya immediately closed his eyes. Since he couldn't figure it out, there was no need to waste time. A mere human was nothing to be concerned about. Just one more step and I can successfully transform and leave this place. Lienya's expression faintly showed his anticipation. A pitch-black mist surrounded his body. It filled the air and made his body look even more demonic. Advanced Cultivation Space. Holding a copy of the Secret Record of Transformation, Lin Feng read it with relish. Although it did not substantially increase his strength, it was of great help to widen his knowledge and expand his knowledge. When a demonic beast's strength reaches 7th level Emperor, it can transform. Transformation is a kind of enlightenment of Tao. Lin Feng read softly. Many demonic beasts' strength reach 8th level, 9th level, and even 10th level Emperor but are unable to comprehend it until the end of their lifespan. There are also many demonic beasts who successfully begin to transform as soon as they reach 7th level Emperor. Lin Feng nodded. According to the demonic beast record, it was extremely difficult for the Black Mist demonic dragon to transform. Perhaps it was related to its Tao. The Tao of time. As expected, it's very fair. If one's talent is poor, the enlightenment of Tao will be fast. If one's talent is high, it will be even harder to transform. Lin Feng smiled indifferently and immediately continued to read. When transformation reaches the first realm, the body will shrink to about 1,000 meters. When transformation reaches the second realm, the body will shrink to about 100 meters. When transformation reaches the third realm, the body will shrink to about 10 meters. Initial human form. Lin Feng's eyes were bright and he suddenly smiled. It turned out that, after going in a big circle, the so-called transformation was actually transforming into a human form. This secret record collects the 18 methods of transformation. You can transform if you cultivate it. Lin Feng's eyes lit up and he was surprised. According to the book, only 1 in 10,000 demonic beasts could successfully transform. However, as long as one cultivated this transformation secret record, one could successfully transform. Then, wasn't this secret record incomparably precious? However, what he bought only cost 100,000 starlight points. After thinking for a while, Lin Feng instantly understood. No matter how precious it was only for demonic beasts. What use was it for martial artists? Moreover, according to this secret record, no matter how talented one is, they will definitely be able to transform to the third realm. However, whether they can comprehend in the end depends on their own luck. Lin Feng nodded. Suddenly, when he saw the last line, he couldn't help but shake his head. Even if one comprehends the Tao and successfully transforms, they still have to go through tribulation lightning. It could be said to be extremely difficult. The path of transformation seemed to be a path to heaven, but it was actually a path to go through trials and tribulations. As expected, only humans are the true spirit of all things. Lin Feng smiled indifferently and immediately closed the transformation secret record. Compared to demonic beasts, the path of cultivation for humans was undoubtedly much smoother. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to Qidien. Come to vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 242. Lin Feng, who had tasted victory for the first time, didn't follow up with another attack. Instead, he sank into deep cultivation. He had benefited a lot from the battle with the Black Mist demonic dragon. He had won by a fluke. However, Lin Feng understood one thing. The so-called Dragon Clan was just a slightly stronger magical beast. They weren't invincible. With the current power of the Half-Moon Arc, it's hard to kill a Third-Order Emperor stage Black Mist demonic dragon with a sneak attack. Lin Feng's eyes shone brightly. The battle that day was deeply engraved in his mind. After his attack was weakened by the Black Mist, its power was greatly reduced. He could only injure the Black Mist demonic dragon. As for the dragon killing spear, it had undergone a qualitative change. However, he still couldn't understand its mystery. He only knew that it could absorb dragon blood and become stronger when encountering a dragon. That was all. If I encounter a Fourth-Order Emperor stage Black Mist demonic dragon, my chances of winning are less than 10%. Lin Feng thought to himself. Killing the Black Mist demonic dragon will definitely cause a great disturbance. For the time being, I'd better keep a low profile and improve my strength while waiting for the disturbance to subside. Lin Feng knew very well that the first time was bound to be very troublesome. If he could avoid it, he would avoid it. Besides, he didn't have the strength to provoke it again. It won't take much time to improve my soul from the second stage to the third stage by consuming and refining the Black Mist crystal. Lin Feng's eyes shone brightly. After reaching the third stage, my control and power of the aurora all won't improve. Just by cultivating the third form, my strength will increase again. Killing a Third-Order Emperor stage Black Mist demonic dragon will be as easy as blowing off dust. Even if I face a Fourth-Order Emperor stage Black Mist demonic dragon, I'm confident that I can win. Lin Feng knew very well that the Black Mist demonic dragon's main components were the Third and Fourth-Order Emperor stage. Just like a pyramid, the bottom layer was always the most. Including the human martial gods, the First Order and Second Order occupied the majority. And the most important thing is, Lin Feng clenched his right fist. His eyes were filled with desire. By then, the energy in my soul will surpass that of the Dantian. I'll absorb and assimilate it. Just the Black Mist crystal alone had such an effect, let alone the Niden that was formed from the essence of the Niden. That was the foundation of the Black Mist demonic dragon, the source of its power. Cultivation, non-stop cultivation for even half a second. With Lin Feng's personality, once he had made up his mind, he would never turn back. He would not give up until he achieved his goal. Day after day passed by. In the stalactite cave there was no day or night. There was only an inexhaustible supply of spiritual energy and the energy of heaven and earth. Lin Feng's body continued to absorb the energy from the stalactite. The startling effects of the stalactites had already strengthened Lin Feng's body several times over, increasing it several times over. Coupled with the rapid flight of his human soul, Lin Feng's physical strength alone was already unheard of. The improvement of the life spirit was even greater than that of the mortal soul. The Black Mist crystal I picked up yesterday have been used up again. Lin Feng opened his eyes. After finishing his cultivation, Lin Feng stood up and walked out of the cave as he felt the rapid improvement of the soul in his mind. In an instant, the urgent fire shuttle lit up with a fiery red light. Lin Feng turned into a stream of light and disappeared. An hour later, behind the waterfall, a smiling figure stepped on a fiery red light and returned unscathed. The harvest this time is not bad. It should be enough to cultivate for a day and a night. Lin Feng smiled faintly and said. He waved his right hand gently. Immediately, a densely packed, black fog crystal stones appeared. They flickered brightly and emitted a connected aura. Unfortunately, the black mist crystal is still limited. Lin Feng sighed. Every time he went out to search, unless he was extremely lucky, the harvest would definitely be less than the previous day. The number of black mist crystal decreased by the day. It seems that it's not that the black mist crystal is formed quickly, but that no one has been here for a long time before me. That's why there are so many black mist crystal left. Lin Feng suddenly smiled and said, "No matter how many there are, it's more than enough for me to raise my soul to the third stage." With a faint smile on his face, Lin Feng sat down cross-legged. "Continue, cultivate." Outside the stalactite cave, a black mist demonic dragon stuck its head out and searched around. Its huge dragon nose sniffed and its eyes flashed. It flew to the sky and landed on the ground, constantly looking around. "Aolo," it roared helplessly. The black mist demonic dragon seemed to be unable to find anything special in this waterfall. It flapped its huge wings and flew into the sky. Little did it know that at the bottom of the waterfall, in an inconspicuous cave, that tiny human was hiding in cultivation. In the blink of an eye, another half a month passed. As early as 7 days ago, Lin Feng's soul had been raised to the third stage. In the next 7 days of cultivation, not only did he stabilize his strength at the third stage, but more importantly, he carefully studied and cultivated new moves. The third form of Aurora Cone, Rhombus Flash. Its power increased again. At the same time, the difficulty of cultivation also increased. This time, the number of Aurora Cones he had to control increased from 2 to 4. To maintain its power at the same time, to truly control the 4 split Aurora Cones, and to completely control the complex attacks and combinations, this was a huge problem. No matter how strong Lin Feng's comprehension was, it took him 4 days to reach the beginner level. He spent another 2 days to slowly familiarize himself with the technique. Now, he could basically use 60% of its power. Enough! Lin Feng's eyes flashed. A light flashed in his hand, and the Aurora Cone immediately fell into his hand. In front of him, the stone wall of the cave that was specially used for cultivating the Aurora Cone contained the 9th grade mineral black iron ore. The deep imprint was more than 20 meters long. The power of this rhombus flash is indeed strong. It is far from what Half Moon Arc can compare to. Lin Feng muttered indifferently. He remembered that when he first started cultivating Half Moon Arc, the hard stone wall made of black iron ore could only be broken 3 meters. Now, the difference was more than 1 level. My strength should be enough to protect myself. Lin Feng let out a long sigh. Compared to half a month ago, his battle strength had already increased by several times. If he were to face the third stage Emperor stage, Black Fog Demonic Dragon, he would definitely be able to ignore the black fog and kill it in one fell swoop. Lin Feng's eyes were filled with confidence. He pondered softly, "The formed black fog crystal has already been mostly collected by me. The following cultivation speed will definitely decrease. From the third stage to the fourth stage, I'm afraid it will take at least 2 months. The time was too long. In another 2 months, I'm afraid that the Sky Martial Continent will no longer exist." Lin Feng sighed. The 100-day period was getting closer and closer. It was within reach. In fact, he could even smell the smoke of gunpowder. It was slowly getting closer. Now I can go and find a way out. Lin Feng nodded lightly. With his current strength, it was enough to reduce the danger to the lowest level. "I don't know. Father, mother, brother, sister, and Xiao, did anything happen?" Lin Feng couldn't help but feel worried and miss them. In here, although he could use the Dragon Star Seal to enter the high-level cultivation space, the fluorescent compass was ineffective. It was ineffective, not damaged or undetectable. He didn't know what the problem was, but no matter what, it was a fact that he couldn't use it. "Wait for me." Lin Feng clenched his fist. His eyes were burning with confidence. Complacent, Lin Feng didn't immediately leave the stalactite cave. Before that, Lin Feng still had one more thing to do. That was absorb and refine the Niden. It was an extremely difficult and dangerous challenge. But at the same time, he was looking forward to it. Opportunity and danger coexisted. With it, I don't need to worry about safety anymore. Lin Feng smiled indifferently. At this moment, a faint clear light flickered on his forehead. It was a wave-shaped imprint. It was as soft as water and filled with vitality. Defense-type spirit treasure, water wall. It was in existence on the same level as the heart protection talisman that saved him that day. 3-star spirit treasure, price 1,000,000 starlight points. It was very expensive. What was even more ridiculous was that the water wall was the same as the heart protection talisman. It was a one-time use item. Once it was used up, it wouldn't have any value anymore. However, it's worth it. Lin Feng sighed and closed his eyes. Instantly, he could feel the gentle water energy resting quietly in his soul sea. The water wall's only function was to protect the soul core. Once the soul core was attacked by an unparalleled power, the water wall would be activated. The enormous energy contained within would burst out. Protecting the soul core and protecting the warrior's life was similar to the heart protection talisman. It was a true life-saving treasure. It was priceless. Hua on his right hand, the pitch-black inner core shone brightly. Lin Feng let out a deep breath. His eyes shone with a resplendent luster. He had spent a huge amount of money to purchase the water wall, just in case. Even if he couldn't control the inner core's tyrannical power, he would still be able to escape. This way, he wouldn't have any more worries. He would try his best. Schwa. It melted in his mouth. However, a surging and ruthless aura instantly exploded. It was like surging waves, thunder, and lightning. The terrifying and powerful aura was 100 times stronger than the black fog crystal. This is the true heaven and earth energy, Lin Feng muttered. It contained the Tao of time and the source and crystal of the black fog demonic dragon. Although the aura was terrifying, it felt somewhat familiar. In an instant, there was a sudden change. Rumble, Lin Feng felt his head explode. The powerful mixed energy shot into his soul like a sharp arrow, creating a huge impact. An illusory black fog demonic dragon suddenly appeared. It roared furiously, filled with arrogance and recklessness. However, it had form but no substance. It's still causing trouble even after death. Lin Feng's mind was incomparably firm. His soul core spun rapidly. The Heart Sutra on the 4th page of the Mystery of Soul was activated. The two were fighting. The inner core's energy was rather tyrannical. The illusory black fog demonic dragon seemed to be unwilling to be assimilated. It crazily attacked the power of the soul core. Lin Feng clenched his teeth. The shock in his mind and the huge change in his soul core couldn't affect his state of mind. This was a battle. An invisible battle, a test of willpower. He had to withstand the impact of the inner core. The first step to absorbing and refining it was to defeat it. Third update, it's a new month. Brothers, let's give Xiao Xiao some guaranteed monthly votes to boost her image. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to Qidien.com to vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 243. The two streams of air intertwined, forming a whirlpool. It was a stalemate. If not for the fact that the energy aura is similar, I'm afraid it would be very troublesome. Lin Feng gritted his teeth and resisted the impact of the inner core's energy. Fortunately, he was careful and only absorbed the inner core after his soul heart reached the 3rd stage. Otherwise, he would not be able to withstand such a huge amount of energy. The Black Mist demonic dragon was ruthless and cruel. Even its inner core was exactly the same. It was crazily attacking in the soul sea. It would not rest until one of them was dead. The battle between the two streams of air gradually escalated from a whirlpool to a hurricane. The scattered and uncontrollable streams of air kept circling in the soul heart like smoke. I can absorb it. Lin Feng was instantly delighted. He used the Heart Sutra on the 4th page of the Secrets of Soul and assimilated the astonishing energy aura. Even if it was just a little bit of the uncontrollable streams of air, the intensity of the energy far exceeded the content of the black mist crystal. This pure energy aura made the soul heart let out a light buzzing sound. It spun even faster and the absorption speed kept increasing. The battle continued. It had to end with one side losing. As the battle continued, Lin Feng's soul heart kept increasing. The battle began to tilt. Lin Feng slowly gained the upper hand. The powerful energy of heaven and earth gradually suppressed the inner core. The hurricane blew fiercely, causing more and more of the inner core's energy to be assimilated. A thick layer of black fog surrounded the soul heart. As the soul heart spun, it was absorbed and assimilated. Lin Feng's expression relaxed. The most difficult step had been taken. The illusory black mist demonic dragon in the soul sea was like a paper tiger baring its teeth. It was no longer a threat. From now on, the sea and sky were vast. All that was left was to refine the black mist crystal. He only needed to slowly refine it, absorb the enormous inner core's energy. A total of 12 hours. The black fog around Lin Feng's body had dissipated. Pa! Opening his eyes, they shone brightly. Lin Feng's lips curled into a satisfied smile. He was very satisfied. My soul heart's grade has increased by nearly 10%. Lin Feng could clearly feel the changes in his soul. Inside the thick ball of light, the nebula-like heaven and earth energy was even more abundant and dense. It felt like it was filled with power and had an extreme explosive power. However, Lin Feng clenched his fists and frowned. After absorbing the inner core of the black fog demonic dragon, I somehow feel a bloodthirsty and impulsive urge in my mind. While he was assimilating the black mist demonic dragon's inner core, he seemed to have been slightly affected. Flaws can't obscure jade. Lin Feng smiled faintly. He could completely control the fluctuations in his consciousness. More importantly, the increase in the quality of his soul heart had far exceeded his expectations. The black mist demonic dragon's Niden is indeed very nourishing. Lin Feng was overjoyed. Originally, he had estimated that he would need more than 2 months to increase his soul heart's level. But after refining just one inner core, he had increased it by almost 10% in a short 12 hours. What did this mean? As long as I have 10 inner cores, my soul heart can increase in level again. Lin Feng's eyes were extremely bright. Leaving, he was no longer in a hurry. Lin Feng changed his target and became dragon slaying. Rhombus flash! Lin Feng shouted. 4 aurora lights turned into a huge intersecting rhombus shape. The flashing cold light directly broke through the black fog. There was no need to use the deceleration space. The powerful force broke through the black fog demonic dragon's dark ball of light and blasted towards the scaled dragon's abdomen. In an instant, it penetrated. Boom! There was an extremely loud explosion. The edges of the rhombus shape were extremely sharp, and the center of the rhombus shape was where the energy gathered. It was a bloody hole. Roar! The black fog demonic dragon let out a miserable cry. Its eyes became lifeless. Blood flowed from its abdomen. The huge rhombus shape was a sight to behold. Extremely terrifying power. This was the third form, rhombus flash. Stepping on the urgent fire shuttle, Lin Feng appeared as if he had teleported. A shiny black inner core floated in the air. Lin Feng grabbed it with one hand and a faint smile appeared at the corner of his eyes. At this moment, the dragon-killing spear on his back suddenly screamed. It vibrated violently as if it had been starving for a long time. Lin Feng raised his eyebrows. Bang! The dragon-killing spear was unsheathed and instantly pierced into the black fog. Demonic dragons wound like a shooting star. A shocking blood mist spread. The pitch-black body of the dragon-killing spear seemed to be covered by a layer of red mist. It devoured the blood and emitted a demonic light. Its gigantic body, which was 5,000 meters long, contained tons of blood. However, the dragon-slaying spear sucked it dry in an instant. Bang! The energy was released. The dragon-killing spear lightly shook with a hint of joy. It seems to have improved quite a bit. Lin Feng smiled faintly and sheathed the dragon-killing spear. Looking at the huge dragon corpse with its sinister scales, Lin Feng said softly, "It's said that every part of a dragon's body is a treasure. Since its blood is useful, the other parts of its body must be useful as well." He smiled faintly and the purple ring shone brightly. Under the undulation of his soul power, the huge dragon corpse disappeared. It was effortless. Maybe there's a complete way to use it in the Tianwu continent. Lin Feng nodded. Not only could he destroy the corpse, but he could also hide his tracks and prevent other black fog demonic dragons from discovering him. Once or twice was fine. However, if he kept hunting in the same place for a long time, he was afraid that he would be exposed. An hour later. Another one. Lin Feng calmly took out the inner core. After eating his fill with the dragon-killing spear, he kept the dragon corpse in the purple ring. The purple ring was indeed a 3-star spiritual treasure. It could easily store the 5,000-meter-long dragon corpse. It was not something the cheap goods in the Tianwu continent could compare to. The third one today. Lin Feng's eyes lit up as he smiled. Any unreachable existence, when they crossed this barrier and stood on the same level, would realize that some things were actually very simple. Just like dragon slaying. The strong preyed on the weak. Since he was stronger than the black fog demonic dragon, he could easily kill it. What was a dragon? Tianwu continent. It had been a month since Lin Feng entered the heavenly treasure world. Even though his name was still on the martial god tablet, it was gradually being forgotten. The former 9th head was now a thing of the past. Other than Ziyao, Fang Ning, Xiao Jian and the others who believed that he would return, no other martial god would care about a dead person. In fact, the current Tianwu continent was even more dangerous than a month ago. 2/3 of the 100 days had passed. The beast horde's rampage had entered the second climax. A large number of king-level demonic beasts were crazily charging. Compared to a month ago, their attacking power had doubled. South of Scorching Sun County, Fang Ning, Xiao Jian and Yinlong led Han Xiling and Tulu Wan to form a new 9th team, killing the king-level demonic beasts crazily. Although Lin Feng was not around, in a short month, Fang Ning had broken through to become a titled martial god. Xiao Jian's strength had increased to the 3rd level, and Han Xiling and Tulu Wan had joined them. The strength of the 9th team was still maintained at a decent level, but it lacked the domineering aura that Lin Feng had when he was around. Big brother Fang Ning is so strong. He could actually kill a rank 5 demonic beast. Tulu Wan's eyes lit up as she said respectfully, "This guy's luck is really good." Xiao Jian laughed. "I entered the heavenly treasure primordial ruins with him. I was already lucky enough to earn more than 20 heavenly treasure points. I didn't expect this guy to be even more ridiculous. After he came out, he directly bought a 1-star spirit treasure that was worth 100 heavenly treasure points at the martial god auction house. Spirit treasures are indeed powerful." Yinlong laughed. "Compared to them, my Thunder Light shuttle is completely ashamed." Han Xiling and Tulu Wan pursed their lips. Their eyes flashed with envy. They had just become titled martial gods. They could not even afford ordinary treasures, let alone spirit treasures. "By the way, is Hunter Lin Feng really that strong?" Tulu Wan asked curiously. Han Xiling's eyes widened as she looked at Xiao Jian and Yinlong. "He's far stronger than you think. Yinlong laughed. He's more powerful than Big Brother Fong Ning? Tulu Wan Er's eyes sparkled. Of course. Xiao Jian nodded without hesitation. I don't believe it. Tulu Wan snorted. If Hunter Lin Feng is really that powerful, why would he be trapped in the heavenly treasure world and still not be able to come out? Xiao Jian and Yinlong looked at each other. For a moment they did not know what to say. He will definitely come back. A calm voice came from the sky. Everyone looked over and saw that Fong Ning had returned with a burning expression. Lin Feng's strength is far from what I can compare to now, Fong Ning said calmly. He did not seem pretentious at all. He said calmly, who said that he must be trapped? Maybe he has a fortuitous encounter right now. It's also possible that he can't bear to come out. Xiao Jian could not help but laugh. That's true. Yinlong nodded his head and smiled. Looking at everyone's sincere trust, Han Xiling and Tulu Wan Er's eyes sparkled. They seemed even more curious. Lin Feng, who had cultivated with them in the training base, was strong. How strong was he? In the deepest part of the Black Mist Dragon Valley, dense black fog gathered, and refined Teeth's expression was solemn. Many clan dragons have gone missing? They're all at rank 3. I suspect they've been killed. Refined Teeth's eyes shone with a sharp light. His huge dragon tail knocked on the ground as if he was thinking about something. The 2 Black Mist Dragon in front of him were lying on the ground. They were talking in dragon language. They were angry and agitated. I know. Refined Teeth waved his hand impatiently. The 2 Black Mist Dragon immediately shut their mouth. Search carefully for the last place the aura of the missing clan dragons appeared. Also, rank 3 clan dragons are not allowed to move alone. From now on, a rank 4 clan dragon must lead. Go! Refined Teeth said coldly. The 2 Black Mist demonic dragons immediately obeyed and retreated. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to Qidian. Come to vote for me. Your support is my biggest motivation. Chapter 244. Not bad. Lin Feng flew in the air with a carefree smile. In less than 12 hours, there were 8 dragon corpses and 8 third-order Emperor-level Black Fog demonic dragons cores in the purple ring. 2 more cores will be enough. Lin Feng muttered softly. With his mind's eye, 3 auras suddenly appeared. One of them was extremely strong. Lin Feng frowned slightly. The urgent fire shuttle under his feet flickered with red light. He immediately changed directions and nimbly dodged the attack. Using the fog-concealing talisman to hide his aura, the Black Fog demonic dragons couldn't detect him at all. 2 third-order Black Fog demonic dragons and 1 fourth-order Black Fog demonic dragon. Lin Feng's expression darkened as he frowned. This is the 3rd time. Lin Feng faintly felt that something was amiss. 3 times in 2 hours. In the first 10 hours, he had only encountered 1 group of Black Fog demonic dragons. But in less than 2 hours, he had encountered it 3 times. And every time, it was led by a 4th-order Black Fog demonic dragon. It was as if they were deliberately targeting him. It was extremely strange. With my current strength, it's too difficult to deal with a 4th-order Black Fog demonic dragon. Lin Feng was very clear. It wasn't that he couldn't win, but that he wasn't confident in winning. Moreover, what could he obtain from killing a 4th-order Black Fog demonic dragon? A 4th-order core. With the level of his soul heart, it was impossible for him to refine a 4th-order core. Therefore, Lin Feng didn't plan on killing a 4th-order Emperor-level Black Fog demonic dragon. Killing a 3rd-order Black Fog demonic dragon was easy and convenient. Why would he waste his energy and effort to do something that wasn't rewarding? Let's wait and see. Lin Feng thought to himself. Maybe it's just a coincidence. Still holding a glimmer of hope in his heart, Lin Feng once again streaked across the sky. 2 hours later. The truth wouldn't change. It seems that destroying the corpses still alarmed the Black Fog demonic dragon clan. Lin Feng let out a long sigh. When coincidences appeared again and again, they were no longer coincidences. Instead, they were planned and targeted deployment. The Black Mist demonic dragon no longer acted alone. It was either led by a rank 4 Black Mist demonic dragon or a rank 5 Black Mist demonic dragon, and the number of teams was no less than 3. Phew! Lin Feng let out a long breath. He knew very well that it would be difficult for him to make another move within a short period of time. After all, the Black Mist Dragon was different from the Mist Beast King. It had intelligence that was not inferior to humans. Forget it, I should be content. Lin Feng smiled faintly. No matter what, the harvest this time was already plentiful enough. Who in the Sky Martial Continent would believe that he had killed 8 Black Mist demonic dragons? He was already overwhelmed with shock. This was a true dragon. Furthermore, compared to the golden Tyrannosaurus Rex from 300 years ago, this was an existence with a bloodline even higher. Stalactite Cave. It was completely empty. Lin Feng had harvested all the stalactites in the cave. Even the Tree of Life was bare, with not a single fruit left. It was as if a bandit had visited. Beside the whirlpool, on the right side of the cave, the soul fog was dense. Lin Feng sat cross-legged, a layer of black fog faintly appearing on his body, coiling around his body, contrasting with the white chi flow, forming a sharp contrast. With the naked eye, it was as if 2 flood dragons were coiling around his body. The absorption of the inner cores. Although there were less than 10 of them, it was unable to raise the level of the soul heart to the 4th stage. But at the very least, it could also be raised to the 3rd stage, 80% and above. Although the strength of the soul heart was also at the 3rd stage, 10% and 80% were 2 completely different levels. Just like in the Sky Martial Continent, the difference in source energy between a rank 1 conferred martial god and a rank 6 conferred martial god was several times greater. It was almost similar to the current situation. The black fog slowly faded, and the expression on Lin Feng's face gradually relaxed. His tightly knitted brows relaxed, and with an inexplicable smile, the white chi flow around his body spiraled, and the energy of his aura increased once again. Pa! Lin Feng opened his eyes, which shone brightly. The first time I absorbed it, it took me 12 hours. And now, it took me less than 10 hours. Lin Feng smiled faintly. As the level of the soul heart increased, the speed of refining and absorbing became faster and faster. It was like using a bucket to fetch water. As the bucket grew bigger, the amount of water it could hold would also increase. With a thought, another pitch-black inner core appeared in Lin Feng's hand, emitting an alluring luster. This was the source of power of a noble dragon, the essence of which was located. But to him it was just a tonic. 3 days passed in the blink of an eye. Whoosh, as the last layer of black fog disappeared, the white chi flow around Lin Feng's body expanded extremely, solidifying outside his body as thick as an arm. It seemed real and illusory, twisting like a spiral. The soul fog in the vortex continued to spray out. Lin Feng's eyes slowly opened. Exhaling a mouthful of turbid air, Lin Feng's eyes flickered. The 8 inner cores of the black fog demonic dragons were completely absorbed. My current strength. Lin Feng smiled faintly. I'm only 1 step away from stage 4. What a pity. If I had 2 more inner cores, I would be able to directly break through and enter stage 4. Shaking his head, Lin Feng felt that it was a pity, but he didn't care too much. Many things were already destined. Bang! The force dispersed, and Lin Feng slowly stood up. His eyes were sharp and cold. They were filled with madness and killing intent. There seems to be an additional, ruthless aura in my body. Lin Feng's lips curved coldly as he clenched his fist. He had this feeling when he absorbed the inner core for the first time. As he continued to absorb the inner core, this feeling became stronger and stronger. It was as if a seed of killing was slowly sprouting and growing in the depths of his heart. Could it be a hidden danger? At least, it might not be a bad thing now. Lin Feng's eyes flashed. Facing the beast horde riot that was about to erupt, he needed this kind of crazy killing state. Today, there are only 30 days left until the end of the 100-day period. Lin Feng nodded. His furrowed brows carried a hint of worry. Although he was trapped here, Lin Feng had always remembered the Sky Martial Continent deeply in his heart. He was a part of the Sky Martial Continent. There were countless humans with the same blood flowing in their veins. There were people he loved the most, people who were worth protecting for a lifetime. There was his home. Father, mother, brother, sister, Ziyao. Lin Feng called out softly, revealing a warm smile. Wait for me. I'll definitely rush back. Lin Feng's eyes shone brightly and he was extremely determined. Leaving, with a hint of sadness. Goodbye. Lin Feng looked at the stalagmite cave and nodded with a smile. Although there was still a secret hidden in the two whirlpools, in the depths of the cave, there was a third-grade or heavenly treasure soul stone heart hidden. But to find it was not easy. It would be a huge project. Furthermore, to him, such a precious existence could not be used at the moment. It was like an ordinary person holding the aurora all. What was the use of it? The fog concealment talisman flickered lightly. Stepping on the urgent fire shuttle, Lin Feng immediately transformed into a stream of light and disappeared. Speed more than doubled. Lin Feng's eyes lit up. Controlling the urgent fire shuttle, it flew like lightning. In Lin Feng's heart's eye, he could see a huge spiderweb with him as the center. A black fog crystal suddenly appeared in front of him. Lin Feng smiled, grabbed it with one hand and placed it into the black fog purple ring. Since there's something to take, don't waste it. Lin Feng smiled. Even for the current him, the black fog crystal was not very useful. His ears were filled with the sound of wind and crane, and he seemed to sense that a fog beast king was approaching. But Lin Feng was too lazy to pay attention to it. The urgent fire shuttle flew quickly and left it far behind in the blink of an eye. The fog beast king's defense was strong, but its true strength, it was only at the king level. The difference is too big. Lin Feng's expression was calm and composed. Thinking of how he was chased by a mere rank 2 fog beast king when he first entered, Lin Feng could not help but shake his head. Indeed, in a short month, it was completely different. The current him, not to mention a rank 2 fog beast king, even a rank 4 fog beast king. He could easily kill it, but was there a need? If the battle fluctuations attract the attention of the black fog demonic dragons, then it will be troublesome. Lin Feng's eyes burned. For a mere black fog crystal, it was not worth it. Although his strength had greatly improved, there were many things that he had to avoid. No matter how strong he was, he could at most kill a rank 4 Emperor-level Black Fog demonic dragon. But here, there were thousands of Black Fog demonic dragons, and their strength far exceeded that of a rank 4 Emperor level. Lin Feng vaguely remembered that he had met a rank 5 Emperor-level Black Fog demonic dragon. That aura was even stronger than his current strength. And this was not the strongest. Rank 6, rank 7 and even transformed. Lin Feng took a deep breath. He was very clear in his heart that even if his strength had increased tenfold, he was still a very insignificant existence here. Suddenly, Lin Feng's eyes flashed slightly. In his mind's eye, there were 3 black fog demonic dragons blocking his path. One of them was rank 4 and the other 2 were rank 3. After a slight hesitation, Lin Feng shook his head. The urgent fire shuttle immediately changed direction and drew a large arc, avoiding them. If it's one-on-one, I have 80% confidence that I can kill a rank 4 black fog demonic dragon. Lin Feng thought to himself. But if it's 1-on-2, even if there's only one more rank 3 black fog demonic dragon, my chances of winning will be greatly reduced. I only have 50% confidence. And if it's 1 on 3, my chances of winning are less than 10%. Lin Feng was very clear about his own strength. Yes, his attack power was indeed strong, but it was only attack power. Before condensing the heart of origin, my body has entered a bottleneck, and I can't break through. I'm far from the initial star realm and the heavenly god realm. Lin Feng sighed softly, feeling a little helpless. The purple origin fire seed was once the existence he was most proud of. But now it had become a hindrance and a burden. Finding a way out is more important. There's no need to fight pointlessly. Lin Feng's eyes shone brightly. Since he did not have the confidence to win, he would give in. Right now, business was more important. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to Qidian. Come to vote for me. Your support is my biggest motivation. Chapter 245. The direction was easy to identify. He just needed to head towards the area where the black fog had become thinner. That was the right path. It's convenient to have the urgent fire shuttle and the fog concealment talisman. Lin Feng's eyes shone brightly. Even though he needed to avoid the black fog demonic dragon's thorough search, his flying speed was solid. Compared to the speed he had used to escape in the river, he was much faster. After flying for a full 6 hours, although there were many black fog demonic dragons along the way, he easily avoided them. Oh, there are quite a few black fog crystals here, Lin Feng muttered softly. Puff, puff. 2 shiny black fog crystals appeared in his hands. Lin Feng casually threw them into the black fog purple ring. The further he was from the stalactite cave, the more black fog crystals there were. Although they were much smaller, the number was quite considerable. Unfortunately, they were not of much use to him now. It should be because the black fog is thinner. Lin Feng nodded. He easily figured it out. After all, the black fog crystals were actually formed by the accumulation of the black fog over the years. According to the heavenly treasure points, there should be about 50 to 60. Lin Feng smiled indifferently. It's better than nothing. With a thought, another black fog crystal appeared in front of him. Lin Feng picked it up. On one side, Lin Feng was picking up the black fog crystals as if they were trash. On the other side, in the outer layer of the heavenly treasure world, the titled martial gods were looking for heavenly treasure crystals all over the world with their eyes wide open. Even if they spent an entire day and night, they would be overjoyed if they could only find a heavenly treasure crystal with 5 or 6 heavenly treasure points. The difference in strength determined the difference in thinking. Another 6 hours passed quickly. The heavenly treasure world was extremely vast. The inner layer was several times larger than the outer layer. However, Lin Feng's current speed was also greatly improved compared to a month ago. It should be soon, Lin Feng muttered. From the density of the black fog, he could tell that the black fog in front of him was getting thinner and thinner, just like when he had first entered the heavenly treasure world. Although there was fog, one could still vaguely see the nearby scenery. Now it was extremely similar. I hope everything goes well. Lin Feng's eyes shone brightly. Leaving this place and returning to the martial heaven continent was his greatest wish. Now, there seemed to be only one way to fulfill this wish, and that was, he would first return to the outer layer of the heavenly treasure world. Got it. I see it. Lin Feng looked into the distance as he sped along, his eyes shining brightly. It was a bright place with 2 mirror-like parallel light walls, flickering with a white and transparent luster. It was huge. Looking over, a huge wall of light enveloped the entire area. It was as if a great gate had fallen from the sky, forcibly separating the 2 worlds. Looking through the light wall, the outer layer of the heavenly treasure world could be seen clearly. The thick white fog reflected in his eyes, causing Lin Feng to be extremely excited. It was almost within reach. Finally! Lin Feng was filled with emotion. There were endless joys and sorrows. It was very difficult to survive in this dragon valley. Gently touching the light wall, he was filled with hope. However, Lin Feng was suddenly startled. It was like a thick mirror panel. It was solid and not illusory. He could completely feel the faint coolness, along with the strange energy of heaven and earth. Lin Feng's eyes shone brightly. In his senses, the energy contained in the two light walls was clearly the source of its maintenance. What's this? Lin Feng frowned. He was about to leave this place and return to the outer layer, but there was another layer of obstruction. There's no gap. There's no gap in the sky either. Speeding along with the urgent fire shuttle, Lin Feng scurried around anxiously. However, no matter up or down, the huge wall of light blocked him in the middle, forming a huge barrier. There was not the slightest gap or passage. It was like a locked gate, solid and airtight. How do I get out? Lin Feng clenched his teeth, his eyes filled with urgency. It was as if thousands of ants were crawling in his heart. Lin Feng couldn't wait. In this dragon valley, he had struggled with all his might to survive. After much difficulty, he had finally found a chance to break through the encirclement and find his way out. In fact, he could already see the outer layer of the heavenly treasure world. He was just one step away. However, it was forcefully blocked. Don't try to stop me. Lin Feng's eyes burned with flames. Retreating quickly, Lin Feng stepped on the urgent fire shuttle. Instantly, on his right hand the aurora all shone with silver light. His soul heart spun rapidly. Lin Feng's eyes were as bright as the stars. At this moment, the anger in his heart made Lin Feng extremely focused. The aurora all spun faster than it had ever done before. It made a terrifying and sharp sound. As it spun, a silver circle of light that was 10 meters long bloomed. Pa! 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 It split twice in succession. 4 aurora lights lit up. It spun violently and irregularly. The 4 silver lights whistled as they spun, forming a huge rhombus. A shocking vacuum filled the surroundings, forming a halo. The power intertwined with each other, causing the rhombus to become even more resplendent. In the center of the rhombus, the power was completely concentrated. It continued to increase, accumulating a terrifying power. The terrifying power caused the air to tremble violently. Since there was no path, then he would use his power to create a path. Rhombus flash. Lin Feng clenched his teeth and shouted. All of his power was concentrated in this attack. Lin Feng's eyes were filled with hope and expectation. His mind was completely focused, causing the attack to explode. The rhombus flash's power was almost 80%. It was executed perfectly. At this moment, in the distance, a huge black fog demon dragon opened its eyes. The sleepy expression on his face instantly woke up, and his icy cold gaze was filled with extreme coldness. Its 10,000-meter-long body opened up, and a shocking aura erupted. Compared to the rank 3 Black Fog Demon Dragon, its body was 10 times larger. The rank 3 Black Fog Demon Dragon was 5,000 meters long, and the rank 4 Black Fog Demon Dragon was 6,000 meters long. Although there was a difference of 1,000 meters in length, the difference in size was more than double. And a 10,000-meter-long body was already a very powerful existence in the Black Fog Demon Dragon clan, rank 6 Emperor Realm. Once it broke through to the rank 7, it would have the opportunity to comprehend Tao and transform. Purring, purring. The huge wings caused the wind to howl. This Black Fog Demon Dragon looked into the distance, and its eyes flickered with a sharp cold light. In an instant, its huge body rushed out at an unimaginable speed. Its speed was much faster than Lin Feng's. The rhombus-shaped aurora turned into a resplendent light. Lin Feng's eyes flickered, and they were filled with hope. This was his strongest attack. Break! Break for me! Intense rays of light burst out, and a powerful aura and energy whistled through the air like lightning, shooting towards the boundless wall of light. Boom, rumble! An astonishing explosion sounded, and the entire light wall shook violently. The power of the aurora cone was quite terrifying. However, Lin Feng's expression changed drastically. An extremely powerful energy poured into his body, and the powerful energy of heaven and earth bounced back like a mirror. His soul shook violently. Puff! Lin Feng vomited blood. His internal organs were turned upside down, and Lin Feng's face was extremely pale. However, the palest part was not his face, but his heart. No, impossible! Lin Feng's eyes were filled with shock. He saw that the light wall in front of him seemed to have a broken hole, but under the light of the energy of heaven and earth, it repaired itself. In an instant, it returned to its original state as if nothing had happened. His attack seemed to have hit a spring. Not only was it completely bounced back, but the spring was not damaged at all. Lin Feng could even clearly feel that if this powerful energy of heaven and earth could attack, he would not be just injured. He was extremely shocked. Lin Feng's heart was completely cold, as if it had broken into two halves. His hope was extinguished. Biting his lips, Lin Feng's expression kept changing. The huge light wall in front of him was like a giant standing tall, and he could not reach it even if he looked up. He could not penetrate it, and he could not break it. It was like an iron bastion. What should he do? Lin Feng's body trembled slightly, and a feeling of powerlessness rose from his heart, making his body weak. In an instant, Lin Feng felt that he was insignificant, but he could not change the fact that it was so. He sighed in his heart. Lin Feng's mind had just woken up, when suddenly, his expression changed greatly. Not good! Lin Feng's eyes were filled with shock. In his mind's eye, he sensed a powerful energy that he had never sensed before, and it was rapidly approaching. My God, the 6th rank Black Fog Demonic Dragon! Lin Feng's spine felt cold, and his heart was greatly shaken. Run! There was no second thought, and he had no other choice. If he did not run, only death would await him. Whoosh! The urgent fire shuttle was at full speed, and a fiery red light bloomed. Lin Feng could even feel the terrifying energy behind him, and it was incomparably close. Even if his flying speed was at its peak, the distance between him and the 6th rank Black Fog Demonic Dragon was still shrinking. This is troublesome. Lin Feng clenched his teeth. He could only blame himself for being too emotional just now, causing him to be absent-minded. If not for that, his mind's eye would have sensed the appearance of this terrifying enemy, and he would have escaped in time. But now he had completely exposed himself. Even if he hid his aura, he could see the terrifying Black Fog Demonic Dragon at such a close distance. How could the Black Fog Demonic Dragon not see him? Speed too fast. Lin Feng was sweating profusely, and the energy behind him was getting stronger and stronger. The distance between them was shrinking at an extremely fast speed. Bit by bit, bit by bit. Although the Black Fog Demonic Dragon was huge, its speed was not slow at all. With the talent Tao of Time, the Black Fog Demonic Dragon was good at speed, and with the super strength of a 6th rank Emperor, it completely surpassed Lin Feng's urgent fire shuttle. Although the spirit treasure was strong, the difference in strength was too great. What should I do? What should I do? Lin Feng's expression was constantly changing. At this moment, he was in deep danger. There was no doubt that once this terrifying monster caught up, there would only be one result: death. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to Chidian.com to vote for me. Your support is my biggest motivation. Chapter 246. The aura behind him was getting thicker and thicker. Lin Feng could even hear the heavy breathing, bringing with it the smell of a beast. His heartbeat sped up, and the terrifying roar of the dragon reverberated in his ears. The rank 6 Black Fog Demon Dragon seemed to be flaunting its strength. The distance was shortened in the blink of an eye. Fight! Half turning his body, Lin Feng's eyes flashed with a cold light. Along with the rapid rotation of his soul, a shocking amount of energy gathered outside his body. Along with the sharp energy, it exploded in an instant. Space deceleration. Lin Feng clenched his teeth. The furious roar of the dragon resounded in his ears. The black fog demon dragon seemed to have sunk into a quagmire, but Lin Feng knew very clearly. This was only delaying a little bit of time. The black fog demon dragon with the talent Path of Time had a huge difference with him, so it wouldn't be affected too much. Right now, he was still in extreme danger. What should he do? Feeling the bone-chilling coldness behind him, the distance was shrinking at a speed visible to the naked eye. Lin Feng's mind's eye expanded, like a spider's web, covering every corner. Even the slightest clue could become a treasure that could save his life. Roar! A rough roar resounded behind him. Not good! Lin Feng was shocked. His attack had finally angered the big guy behind him. The intense black fog was spat out. Even though he was only at the edge, he was still affected and his speed decreased. And at this moment, following the black fog was a huge black ball of light. It was filled with terrifying destructive power. Boom! The sky shook and the earth shook. The terrifying destructive power was like thunder. Compared to the rank 3 black fog demon dragon, it was like the difference between heaven and earth. They were not even on the same level. Space deceleration. Lin Feng's eyes were blood-red. The terrifying energy caused his soul to rotate beyond its limit. The huge dark ball of light seemed to have paused for a second. Its speed slowed down a bit, but it was still shooting towards Lin Feng. Controlling the fire shuttle, Lin Feng was like a small boat floating in the middle of the ocean. He tried his best to dodge the attack, but the terrifying energy behind him seemed to want to swallow his whole body. Boom! There was a huge tremor in his ears, and the terrifying sound of something breaking through the air was close by. Even Lin Feng's eardrums were shattered and blood flowed out. Lin Feng's entire body seemed to have collapsed. He had avoided a calamity by a hair's breadth. But the danger didn't decrease at all. Rumble, the gigantic black ball of light crashed into a towering mountain, blasting a huge hole in it. The energy fluctuation rapidly spread out, and the heavy beast breath followed behind him like a shadow. His body was completely enveloped, and the aura of death came one after another. Lin Feng felt that the air was being squeezed into pieces, ripping apart. Boom! The strength of that rank 6 black mist demonic dragon was incomparably terrifying. No! I cannot die here. Lin Feng's eyes were bloodshot. His strong desire to live ignited his fighting spirit. At this moment, he could sense with his heart's eye that there seemed to be an extremely weak energy fluctuation coming from the mountain that had been blasted apart by the gigantic black ball of light. Lin Feng quickly glanced over and saw a huge cavern appear due to the explosion of the black ball of light. That weak energy was coming from within the cavern. That is... Lin Feng's expression changed. Countless thoughts flashed through his mind, but he didn't have any time to think. Right now there was only one path left. Even if it was a dragon's lair or a tiger's den, he had to force himself to charge in. It was better than being torn to pieces by the enraged black mist demonic dragon behind him. So, using the last of his strength, Lin Feng flew into the cavern. Boom! Rumble, violent explosions continuously sounded. Lin Feng was very clear that the black mist demonic dragon outside was crazily destroying the mountain. The cave was very large. The entrance of the cave was 8,000 meters long and wide. However, the rank 6 black fog demonic dragon was unable to enter due to its size. The aura here. Lin Feng's eyes flashed, and he was extremely shocked. Sensing everything around him, he found that it was filled with a disgusting smell of a beast. Oh my God! Lin Feng suddenly realized. He had actually entered a lair. The lair of the black mist demonic dragon. Lin Feng frowned. His mind's eye quickly sensed his surroundings, and his body continued to move forward. His ears were filled with the sounds of destruction. Without a doubt, this mountain would be destroyed by the enraged black mist demonic dragon outside sooner or later. At that time, it would be like catching a turtle in a jar, and he would have no way out. But right now, oh no, it's a dead end. Lin Feng's expression changed. In front of him was a stone wall. The urgent fire shuttle instantly stopped. Using his mind's eye, he found that the surroundings were completely sealed off. This is bad. Lin Feng clenched his teeth. He knew very well that since it was a lair, most of the time, it was half sealed off. A heavy dragon roar came from outside, carrying with it a hint of anger. Lin Feng had been in contact with the black mist demonic dragon for a long time. Although he didn't understand the dragon language, he could completely sense what the rank 6 black mist demonic dragon outside was doing. Calling for reinforcements. It couldn't enter the cavern, but that didn't mean that the other black mist demonic dragons couldn't. Especially the master of this place. Right, that weak energy? Lin Feng's eyes lit up. Glancing over, it was a huge dragon egg. Lin Feng felt a little disappointed. If it could be like the spatial whirlpool when he entered the Dragon Valley, he would have a chance to escape. But now, no. I still have hope. Lin Feng clenched his teeth. His tenacious nature made him not give up no matter how dangerous the situation was. There's not much time. Enter the Alcade Palace immediately. With a thought, the dragon star seal on Lin Feng's right hand instantly lit up. Instantly, it turned into a stream of light and disappeared. Unfortunately, there are too many restrictions when using the dragon star seal. After entering the high-grade training space, Lin Feng couldn't help but sigh softly. During the battle, the air was turbulent, so the dragon star seal couldn't be used. Most importantly, there was a buffer period when using the dragon star seal. From the beginning to the end, the body would be in a defenseless state for close to 5 seconds. This was the most fatal. Hurry up, Lin Feng's eyes lit up. Even if the time ratio was 1001, he couldn't waste his time here. There could be great changes and dangers outside at any time. Miscellaneous Palace. The only thought in Lin Feng's mind was that place that was full of miracles. Unlike the Spiritual Treasure Palace, which had many spiritual treasures, offensive, defensive, flying, etc., the Miscellaneous Palace was like a hodgepodge. There was everything, but whether it could be used or not depended on the person. More importantly, the number of items in the Miscellaneous Palace was 10 times more than the Spiritual Treasure Palace. Every time I enter the Miscellaneous Palace, the items inside will change. Lin Feng muttered. It gave him the feeling that this was a big market. There were people buying and selling. Just like the Martial God auction house, the goods were constantly changing. There must be something that can solve my current predicament. Lin Feng's eyes were like lightning as he quickly browsed through the many items. His eyes were dazzled, but his mind was extremely focused and didn't miss a single item. Sometimes, perhaps it was that insignificant existence that happened to be able to save his life. The lower the price, the lower the function of the goods. I should start from the more expensive items at the back. Lin Feng knew very well what he needed at the moment. Right now, there was no time to waste. No. This is also useless. Time passed second by second. Cold sweat dripped down from Lin Feng's forehead. Searching for treasures in the Miscellaneous Palace required a certain amount of luck and eyesight. Suddenly, Lin Feng's eyes froze. What he saw was a strange device. It had a ruddy appearance like a big apple. It had a strange name, telepathic communicator. Communicate with your heart. Remaining use, 3 times 30 seconds each. Lin Feng's expression changed slightly as he continued to look at the next line of the introduction. Note: only blood-related relatives can use it, and it must be in the Douling world. Blood-related relatives? In the Douling world? How strange! Lin Feng's expression changed. Is this place considered to be in the Douling world? Lin Feng had a thought in his mind and instantly confirmed it. Yes. Since the locator could be used, this place was definitely not an independent spatial layer. Sky Martial Continent was a part of the Douling world. The probability of this place belonging to the Douling world should be above 80%. Lin Feng glanced at the price and gritted his teeth. I'll buy it. Lin Feng's right hand quickly reached into the light barrier. As the dragon star seal consumed 2 million starlight points, he immediately kept the telepathic communicator that could only be used 3 times into the amethyst ring. His body didn't stop at all as he quickly moved forward. Good luck seemed to come one after another. In an instant, Lin Feng stopped in his tracks as a look of surprise appeared on his face. Spatial teleportation talisman? Lin Feng was unable to contain his joy. It was a small pearl-like golden talisman. The bulging belly had a tinge of cuteness. Lin Feng's heart thumped as he looked at the 5 million starlight points price without any hesitation. No matter how expensive it was, it didn't matter. Lin Feng grabbed the spatial teleportation talisman. Instantly, the dragon star seal flickered with a bright luster. Pa! Lin Feng's figure suddenly appeared as he returned to reality. With a time ratio of 1001, the time spent in reality was only 1 or 2 seconds. The roaring sounds were intense in his ears. With his mind's eye, there seemed to be a few black fog demonic dragons rapidly approaching. However, Lin Feng's face flickered with a calm smile. He had nothing to fear anymore. With this spatial teleportation talisman, what was there to be afraid of? Lin Feng glanced at the corner where the gigantic black dragon egg was. His eyes shone brightly. Since I'm here, let's not waste it. Moving his body slightly, Lin Feng immediately kept the dragon egg into the amethyst ring. In an instant, there seemed to be hysterical screams coming from outside. The cave shook violently as a terrifying aura seemed to tear the sky into pieces. However, Lin Feng smiled indifferently as he gently crushed the spatial teleportation talisman with his right hand. Suddenly, a bright light flashed. Lin Feng disappeared without a trace. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to Chidian.com to vote for me. Your support is my biggest motivation. Chapter 247. Spatial Teleportation Talisman. Teleport to any area that could be reached. What a pity! Lin Feng sighed. In the stalactite cave, Lin Feng's figure slowly appeared. He shook his head. If only I could teleport out of here and return to the outer layer of the heavenly treasure world. But there was no other way. The moment he used the teleportation talisman, the map that appeared in his mind was only a small area. That huge wall of light was like a dam, rudely blocking his way. He couldn't pass through it, and it was an area that he couldn't reach. But at least I'm still alive. Lin Feng sighed. His body seemed to have collapsed. He was so tired that he collapsed on the ground. He felt like he had just escaped death. That rank 6 black fog demonic dragon was too strong. With such tyrannical strength, it could instantly kill him. At this moment, sitting quietly in the empty stalactite cave, Lin Feng's heart finally calmed down. His eyes shone with a faint light as he pondered. This time, he could not control his emotions. My temperament is still not strong enough. Lin Feng sighed softly. As expected, in the training space, the existence of the Alioth Hall was still very important. Sometimes, the cultivation of one's temperament was more important than the increase of one's strength. Phew, Lin Feng exhaled a mouthful of turbid air. Suddenly sighing, Lin Feng shook his head. I'm really stupid. If I could get out, how could there be no black fog demonic dragon in the outer layer of the heavenly treasure world? The black fog demonic dragon naturally likes heavenly treasure crystals. Can't go to the outer layer because can't get out, Lin Feng said in surprise. Those black fog demonic dragons that are stronger than me can't get out. You can imagine how strong this wall of light is. I even tried to use the aurora all to break it. Now that he calmed down and thought about it, Lin Feng suddenly felt that he was too impulsive. But it was as if he fell from heaven back to earth. Indeed, it was hard to control his emotions. There must be another way. Lin Feng nodded. No matter what, he would not give up on returning to the Sky Martial continent. No matter how difficult it was, no matter how small the chances were, he had to give it his all. Perhaps there might be hope in the miscellaneous hall. Lin Feng's eyes lit up. The spatial teleportation talisman just now was the best proof. There seemed to be a lot of unknowns in this mysterious miscellaneous hall. Let's take a look again. Lin Feng pursed his lips. The dragon star seal flickered and disappeared from the cave. Hua! A soft light flashed. Lin Feng's figure appeared in the stalactite cave with disappointment in his eyes. After a thorough search of the miscellaneous hall, he did not find any treasures that could allow him to return to the Sky Martial continent. 30 more days, Lin Feng said. The 100-day period was about to end, and the third stage of the beast rampage was about to begin. There was still a whole month left. Nodding his head, Lin Feng's eyes were filled with determination and persistence, without the slightest bit of decadence. He would never give up. That's right, I haven't tried the spiritual communicator. Lin Feng's eyes lit up. This treasure that he found cost a total of 120,000 starlight points, and could only be used 3 times, each time for 30 seconds. But the price was comparable to a 3-star spirit treasure. It was very precious. How do I use it? Lin Feng curiously held the strange device. It was like a big red apple, emitting a metallic luster. Lin Feng checked it carefully, but did not find anything special. Oh! Muttering in his heart, Lin Feng's eyes flickered. Let's give it a try. The rotation of the soul brought about a resonance with the energy of heaven and earth, and a solitary aura enveloped the spiritual communicator. Lin Feng's eyes instantly widened. Suddenly, 3 auras appeared in his mind. They gave him a warm feeling in his heart, making his heart flutter. It was his younger brother, father, and who is that? Lin Feng suddenly woke up. His body trembled inexplicably, and the resonance from the depths of his soul caused his heart to tremble. It was a very familiar feeling, a very warm aura. But it was not his mother, Lin Wanqing. And it was not his younger sister, Lin Shuer. Who is it? Lin Feng was stunned. Other than his father and younger brother, he actually had a close relative. What was a close relative? Could it be my biological mother? Lin Feng was shocked, and his body trembled, his eyes filled with disbelief. This feeling was like waves of the sea, crashing into the depths of his soul. Lin Feng was shocked, and he could not calm down. After a long time, letting out a long breath, Lin Feng's expression gradually relaxed. So what if he thought more about it? To him, this was like a spirit treasure that he had not reached a certain level of strength, and he could not control it at all. I'll ask father when the time is right, Lin Feng softly muttered. Immediately, he suppressed this curiosity deep within his heart. His spiritual heart once again rotated. With his first experience, Lin Feng quickly sensed the 3 auras faintly touching each other. Yun. Lin Feng tried to call out softly. In Heaven-Breaking City, Lin Yun was handling official business with a reading attendant. Suddenly, his expression changed, and he stood up. Brother? Lin Yun was extremely surprised. This voice was too familiar. The reading attendant beside him was instantly shocked, and he stared at this nameless vice city lord. Yes, it's me. Lin Feng felt Lin Yun's response and was extremely surprised, but he forcefully suppressed his excitement and spoke quickly. I'm still in the heavenly treasure world, and I can't come out for the time being. The spiritual communicator I'm currently using can only be sensed by close relative. Long story short, I only have 30 seconds. Brother, it's great that you're fine. Lin Yun was overjoyed. I knew you would be safe. Yes, I'm very safe. Lin Feng nodded. How are father, mother, and younger sister? They're fine, but everyone is very worried about you. Lin Yun also spoke quickly. Big brother Fong Ning and the others often come to see us, and so does the Purple Jade Hunting Master. Brother, are you and the Purple Jade Hunting Master? It's good that you're fine. Lin Feng felt as if a boulder had fallen. Hearing his younger brother mention Ziyao, the beautiful purple figure couldn't help but appear in his mind. Now, she should be very worried about me, right? Lin Feng couldn't help but think to himself. However, he forgot about the spiritual communication with his younger brother, Lin Yun. His thoughts instantly fell into Lin Yun's mind in full detail. So the Purple Jade Hunting Master and Big Brother. Lin Yun was extremely surprised, and a smile suddenly bloomed on his face. Lin Feng, who finally reacted, smiled, but it didn't matter. After all, it wasn't something that couldn't be exposed. At this moment, the last 3 seconds of the countdown seemed to ring in his mind. Lin Feng quickly said, Brother, tell everyone that I'm fine, and the voice suddenly stopped. Although he couldn't hear the last sentence, how could Lin Yun not understand? Brothers were connected by heart, and the thing that Big Brother was most worried about was his family. The Purple Jade Hunting Master must be very worried, I have to tell her quickly. Lin Yun smiled. The worries of the past month were gone, and he felt extremely comfortable. The spiritual connection was cut off. Lin Feng opened his eyes, and the luster of the apple in his hand seemed to have dimmed a little. It can indeed be used. Lin Feng smiled slightly, further proving his guess. This wasn't an independent space, but a part of the Douling world. Father said that 90% of the Douling world is ocean, and there are tens of millions of islands like the Sky Marshall continent. Perhaps the so-called Heavenly Treasure World is also one of the islands, right? Lin Feng nodded thoughtfully, and a smile bloomed on his face. Knowing that his family was safe, to him, was more precious than any other news. That's right. Lin Feng was suddenly startled. Father is so familiar with the Douling world, and knows about the Arcade Hall, perhaps. Lin Feng's eyes instantly lit up, and a glimmer of hope rose in his heart. His father, who had many secrets, might be able to help him. He immediately tried to sense it again, and the red apple emitted a bright light. The spiritual communicator still had 2 more chances to be used. Father! Lin Feng called softly. After 2 seconds of silence, his father's voice slowly sounded. Feng, are you using the spiritual communicator? Lin Xiaotian was very calm. Yes, father. Hearing his father's voice, Lin Feng felt an inexplicable sense of security in his heart, as if even if the sky fell, it would be solved. He said, Father, I'm now trapped in the inner layer of the Heavenly Treasure World, where the black mist demonic dragons reside. I guessed it. Lin Xiaotian said indifferently, Feng, you can't break through the space barrier without reaching the galaxy level. Galaxy level? Space barrier? Lin Feng seemed to have understood something and said, Father, then listen to me. Lin Xiaotian interrupted in surprise. Today is July 20th, and the miscellaneous hall will update a batch of goods on the 15th of every month. It's first come, first serve. The spatial teleportation door is worth about 5 million starlight points, and is a relatively popular consumable. In addition, to refine the black mist demonic dragon's inner core, you must buy the clear heart fruit, otherwise, Feng, your temperament will be affected, and if it's serious, you won't be able to control your emotions. Remember, in the black mist demonic dragon valley, bring more life-saving spirit treasures. His father's voice fell in his ears, and Lin Feng was somewhat moved. Although it was only a few words, his father's personality was not the kind of person who was good at word. I understand, father. Lin Feng nodded gently. Be careful. Lin Xiaotian's voice was very calm. The spiritual communication suddenly stopped, but Lin Feng received all of his father's concern for him. This kind of feeling from the heart could not deceive anyone. Although his father's voice was very calm, it carried a hint of true, fatherly love. It was like an eagle silently watching its fledglings fly in the sky. A father's love was strict, and perhaps most of the time, it could not be felt at all. However, he had already paid the price without anyone noticing. Thank you, father. Lin Feng's eyes flickered. At this moment, the path in front of him was no longer obstructed. It was already bright. Chapter 248. In the high-grade cultivation space. As expected, there's no space portal. Lin Feng walked out of the miscellaneous hall slowly. Once again, he did not give up and did a thorough search. However, he still returned empty-handed and did not find anything. According to father, the miscellaneous hall will only be updated with a new batch of goods on the 15th of every month. Today is the 20th of July, which means it was just updated 5 days ago. Lin Feng nodded thoughtfully. It was no wonder that the last time he entered the miscellaneous hall, the goods were completely different from the first time. As expected, it's an existence similar to the Martial God auction house, Lin Feng muttered to himself. In other words, if I want to buy a space portal, I have to wait until the 15th of next month. Lin Feng shook his head. Space portals were indeed popular. They were sold out in just 5 days. 25 days left. Lin Feng calculated and let out a long breath. There was only 1 month left before the 100-day deadline. It was just enough time. Just right. I can make good use of these 25 days. Lin Feng's eyes lit up. When the time comes, I'll definitely return in my best condition and strength. In his heart, he was no longer worried or hesitant. He no longer had any worries. The Black Fog Demonic Dragon Valley, which used to be like a dragon's pool and a tiger's den, was now just a place for him to cultivate. His thoughts had changed. In the city in the sky. The Moon Empress looked at Ziyao, her eyes shining. What's the matter, sister? Is there any good news? The Moon Empress smiled. Ever since Lin Feng's whereabouts were unknown, her sister rarely smiled. But today it was out of the ordinary. Lin Degu is safe and sound, sister. Ziyao smiled and nodded. Oh! The Moon Empress was slightly stunned. Ziyao was in a good mood, so she didn't hide it from her sister. She immediately told her everything that Lin Yun said, her face full of joy. Although she couldn't hear Lin Feng's voice with her own ears, as long as she knew that he was safe and that he had been thinking about her, Ziyao was satisfied with this. Telepathic communicator? The Moon Queen's eyes lit up. I think I've read about it in an ancient book. The Moon Emperor murmured and smiled. Lin Feng seemed to have turned a disaster into a blessing. He had a fortuitous encounter in the heavenly treasure realm. This was not necessarily bad news. Heart Protector Talisman, a 3-star numinous treasure. Lin Feng's eyes flashed. The teardrop-shaped jade in front of him was imprinted in his eyes. It was quite familiar. It was the first numinous treasure that he owned. It was also a numinous treasure that had once saved his life. 1,000,000 starlight points. It's worth it. Lin Feng extended his right hand into the ball of light, and the starlight on the dragon star seal changed from 968,0000 to 868,0000. The continuous depletion of starlight caused the starlight that had been saved up to dwindle. But just as his father had said, he had to be careful. I was too careless. If I had the Heart Protection Talisman that day, coupled with the Fog Concealment Talisman and the Urgent Fire Shuttle, how could I have been in danger? Lin Feng said softly. The increase in his strength and the continuous killing of the Black Mist demonic dragon had caused him to underestimate his enemy. So the reason why I couldn't control my emotions that day wasn't because my temperament wasn't strong enough. It was because I was affected by the Black Mist demonic dragon's hostility. Lin Feng shook his head. If it wasn't for his father's reminder, he wouldn't even know that he had fallen into a trap. He originally thought that he could control it and didn't care too much about it. However, if one Black Mist demonic dragon's inner core wasn't enough to affect him, what about 10? 100? 1,000? It was really dangerous. Lin Feng felt a lingering fear. Behind the rapid increase in his strength, there was actually such a danger. He had actually ignored its existence. Heart-cleansing fruit. I wonder if it's expensive? Lin Feng muttered to himself and stepped out of the numinous treasure palace. So it's only a 1-star immortal fruit. Lin Feng looked at the emerald green fruit in front of him, and the burden in his heart was lifted. If this heart-cleansing fruit was expensive, he would be in trouble. After all, he was only left with 68 million starlight points, and 5 million starlight points were needed to buy the space teleportation gate. In other words, his real wealth. Actually, he was only left with 68 million starlight points. He was very poor. Compared to the 20 million starlight points he had at the beginning, it was a world of difference. Let's buy 21st? Lin Feng nodded his head. Although he wasn't sure about the effects of the heart-cleansing fruit, since his father said so, it must be really effective. After coming out of the Immortal Fruit Palace, Lin Feng immediately started to absorb the heart-cleansing fruit. Hua, an extremely cool feeling. It was just a small fruit, but it had an aura that made people click their tongue in amazement. Lin Feng's eyes shone brightly as he felt his state of mind become peaceful. His tensed-up body slowly relaxed. The image of the Black Mist demonic dragon that would occasionally flash in his mind became slightly dimmer, as though it was forcefully suppressed by an extremely strong force. The effect was immediate. After exhaling a mouthful of turbid air, Lin Feng was instantly overjoyed. With the heart-cleansing fruit, the side effects of swallowing and refining the Black Mist demonic dragon's inner core were no longer a threat. Although it was the lowest grade of 1-star immortal fruit, it was more precious than a top-grade spirit fruit. 3 fruit, 6 fruit, 10 fruits. The immortal fruit's pure energy of heaven and earth was easily absorbed by the body. As for the heart-cleansing fruit, it didn't have the accumulation of other complicated energies. It only had the effect of cleansing the human body. The absorption was relatively fast. In less than 4 hours, all 15 heart-cleansing fruits were in his stomach. At this moment, the image of the Black Mist demonic dragon in his mind had already disappeared. Lin Feng's state of mind was clear. It's this feeling. Lin Feng's eyes shone brightly. My body has recovered. Clenching his fist, Lin Feng smiled indifferently. Although the heart-cleansing fruit couldn't increase his strength, just the effect of the heart-cleansing fruit was enough for him to benefit greatly. The consumption is still relatively large. Fortunately, it's not expensive. I'll go buy some more. Lin Feng nodded and immediately entered the Palace of Immortal Fruits again. He bought another 46 heart-cleansing fruit. At this moment, Lin Feng's Dragon Star seal only had 8.01 million starlight points left. It's about time. There's nothing else to buy at this stage. Lin Feng murmured. There are still 25 days before I return. I have to seize the time to increase my strength. Lin Feng's eyes shone. The stronger I am, the higher my chances of fighting against the Beast Riot. The level 9 Beast Riot only existed in legends. No one knew how dangerous it was. However, one thing was certain. No matter how dangerous it was, he wouldn't give up. It's a pity that the Black Mist demonic dragons are already moving in group. The weakest one is at least a level 4 Emperor level Black Mist demonic dragon. I have enough confidence to fight one-on-one, but 1 against 3. Lin Feng shook his head. The difference between his offensive and defensive power was huge. His soul heart had almost reached level 4 novice star. As for his body, it hadn't even condensed the heart of origin. It wasn't even at the apprentice level. The polarization was very serious. However, even if I only cultivate in the stalactite cave, 25 days is enough for my soul heart to break through to level 4. There's only less than 20% left. Lin Feng clenched his fists, his eyes shining. After all, he had already refined and absorbed 8 black mist demonic dragon cores. It was a great harvest. Right. Lin Feng suddenly remembered. A light flashed in his hand, and a huge black egg appeared in front of him. As I expected, this should be the black mist demonic dragon's dragon egg. Lin Feng nodded thoughtfully. He observed carefully. The egg contained a weak energy, but he couldn't sense it clearly because it was wrapped in the eggshell. Lin Feng's gaze changed slightly. It wasn't the first time he saw a dragon egg. Back in the Fire God Forbidden Ground, he had stolen a dragon egg once. In the end, when he ate it, he almost died. The dragon egg contains the essence of a dragon and can strengthen one's body. Especially the dragon essence, it has incomparably tyrannical power. Although the black-winged flying dragon that day wasn't a real dragon, it still had the blood of a dragon. Lin Feng recalled that at that time, the black-winged flying dragon's egg only had a tiny bit of dragon essence, and he almost exploded and died when he accidentally ate it. The dragon egg in front of him was not only more than 10 times bigger, but the energy it emitted was also quite pure. It was a real dragon egg. The black mist demonic dragon was completely incomparable to the black-winged flying dragon. But there was one thing that was the same. In the end, it would all fall into his stomach. Lin Feng smiled indifferently, and the aurora all appeared in his right hand, emitting a sharp cold light. He gently pierced the dragon egg, and in an instant, a huge amount of heaven and earth energy spread out. Lin Feng's expression changed instantly, but it was a change of incomparable surprise. From the dragon egg, he could faintly sense the aura gradually magnified. That feeling was very familiar. It's very similar to the inner core. No, it's not the same. Lin Feng immediately denied. The feeling of energy was as violent as usual, but the energy of the dragon egg was unusually concentrated, as if it had gathered into the size of a needle. In comparison, the energy of the inner core was much more scattered. Sparkling and transparent liquid slowly flowed out of the egg, emitting a huge amount of life energy. It was sweet and slightly astringent. But when it entered his stomach, it was as if he had swallowed a ball of fire, and it spread out. Vigorous python technique. Lin Feng sat cross-legged and focused his mind. In an instant, a majestic energy surged in from all directions, spreading to his limbs and 5 meridians. Every inch of his skin was strengthened to the limit, every meridian was expanded, and the cells in his body were constantly absorbing energy to grow, divide, and strengthen. The surrounding air surrounded his body in a spiral shape, like a giant python coiling around his body. His cells vibrated violently, filled with extremely terrifying energy. Expand, expand, and tremble violently. In an instant, 1 divided into 2, 2 divided into 4, 4 divided into 8. The speed was extremely fast. Time continued to pass. Lin Feng's physical fitness was increasing at a speed visible to the naked eye. With the experience of absorbing the liquid from the dragon egg, Lin Feng was very calm. The previous ones were just the appetizers. The real main course. It was the dragon essence. It's here. In his mind's eye, a pitch-black light slowly flowed out along with the liquid from the dragon egg. Lin Feng's eyes lit up in an instant. Making up for yesterday's 3rd update, Xiao Xiao is in a bad mood. Her daughter was hit by a car, and there was a lot of blood on her face. Her heart really hurts. When she saw the blood on her daughter's face at the hospital, she directly beat the idiot who caused the accident to the ground. But other than venting, what else could she do? Luckily, her daughter only had external injuries, and there was no problem with the CT scan. Now I just hope that there won't be any scars. Otherwise, Xiao Xiao might really kill that driver. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to Qidian.com to vote for me. Your support is my biggest motivation. Chapter 249. A sudden change occurred. The pitch-black dot of light was like a prairie fire, igniting in his heart. In a split second, extreme power exploded in his body. The pitch-black dot of light emitted a frightening aura, like a terrifying light hole. A thick black fog instantly spread out, covering his entire body. Instantly, a tearing force attacked Lin Feng. Lin Feng's face turned blood-red, and his fingertips were about to crack. His eyes opened wide. Vigorous giant python art. Lin Feng clenched his teeth, forcibly stabilizing his mind. The dense energy rushed into his heart, and through his soul, it spread to his limbs and meridians. He wanted to control the energy of this black dot of light, however, it was completely out of control. The black dot of light was like a wild horse, crazily running around in his body. In Lin Feng's mind, an incomparably huge black fog demonic dragon appeared. Its frightening body covered the sky. Although it was not as big as the 6th-rank black fog demonic dragon, it was still 8,000 meters long, which was quite terrifying. The energy that rushed into his body could only block it, but could not control it. There was an absolute difference in strength. But this was not Lin Feng's full strength. Merge! A deep shout resounded. In a split second, Lin Feng's eyes shone, as dazzling as the stars. In the whirlpool, on the right side of the cave, the consciousness clone turned into a flash of light and disappeared. The main body of Lin Feng seemed to overlap, becoming one. Life spirit, return. It represented the true Lin Feng, showing his full strength. Pa! Lin Feng opened his eyes wide, and a powerful energy of heaven and earth came whistling over. Just a small dragon egg. Lin Feng's eyes were indifferent. Along with the activation of the 4th page of the Mystery of Souls, the shockingly powerful energy of heaven and earth came over like a shadow, turning into a spiral of energy that crazily rushed in. Compared to before, it was like heaven and earth. In a split second, the reins of the wild horse that was out of control were grabbed. In his mind's eye, the black dot of light was completely surrounded by an invisible energy, like a dumpling. In the blink of an eye, it was controlled. Closing his eyes, Lin Feng sat like an old monk, slowly digesting the energy of the dragon essence. Times have changed. That day, he needed the fire spirit pill to replenish his soul power and control the dragon essence. But now he could even completely refine the tyrannical energy of the inner core, let alone a mere dragon egg. Although the dragon egg contained the essence of a dragon, even if it was the essence of a rank 5 black mist demonic dragon, it was only a seed that contained powerful energy. Even now, it still couldn't compare to the inner core of a rank 3 black mist demonic dragon. The only difference was that the inner core was cultivated by the black mist demonic dragon using the qi of heaven and earth. It contained the energy of the Tao of time. Absorbing and refining would increase the strength of one's soul heart. However, dragon eggs were mainly used to strengthen one's physique. 2 different stages. Lin Feng sneered. At birth, it's the growth stage of the body, but after adulthood, it's the strengthening of the body. Just like a martial artist's cultivation, different stages had different ways of cultivating. The black light spots seemed to like moving towards the legs. Back then, the black-winged flying dragon was known for its strength, while the black mist demon dragon was known for its speed. Lin Feng immediately understood that they each had their own strength. The black light spots were injected into his legs, constantly strengthening his cells and expanding his meridians. Suddenly, this is? Lin Feng exclaimed softly. In his mind's eye, 3 inches below his kneecap on his right leg, there was a small light spot with a blood-red luster that was shining brightly. It was filled with joy. As it absorbed the energy of the black light spot, it seemed to faintly bring out another dim light spot. Ingluan Shueli Acupoint. The Shueli Acupoint is constantly strengthening its energy. But what's that light spot next to it? Lin Feng was surprised. His physique was constantly strengthening. The black mist demonic dragon and the black-winged flying dragon were on a completely different level. The black mist demonic dragon was one of the top existences among the true dragon race, while the black-winged flying dragon was just a hybrid offspring. It couldn't be considered a dragon at all. The difference in bloodline was huge. The black light spots all over his body were increasing his physical strength to the limit. Lin Feng felt like he was a demonic beast. His physique was quite strong. Oh my God, my current body! Lin Feng was speechless. Although he hadn't condensed the heart of origin, his body had long surpassed the peak of Emperor Wu. He wasn't even inferior to an ordinary titled martial god. Now, he had ascended even further. The energy of the dragon essence was extremely powerful. I wonder what level I will reach when the energy of the dragon essence is completely absorbed by my body? Lin Feng thought to himself. He was very clear about his own strength. The increase in the level of the life spirit and the absorption of heaven and earth energy would bring about an increase in the quality of his body. Although it might be very small, like a few drops of water on the outside of a bucket, it was a considerable improvement to his body that had a very low foundation. After all, the life spirit had already reached the beginner level. In addition to the black mist crystal, the inner core, and the cultivation of the vigorous python technique, it slowly accumulated. After absorbing the dragon essence, his strength soared even faster. Perhaps I will become the first warrior in the sky martial continent to reach the 7th order martial god without condensing the heart of origin? Lin Feng didn't know whether to laugh or cry. The absorption of the dragon essence was far slower than the absorption of the inner core. But as time passed, the brightness of the black light spots slowly weakened. It should be over in a few hours, Lin Feng estimated. An entire day and night. His body had already undergone a transformation. The physical strength of a 7th order martial god? No, it's even stronger. Lin Feng was both happy and helpless. It was neither up nor down. The improvement of his body seemed a little useless. Without the heart of origin, he couldn't become a titled martial god. In terms of physical strength, not to mention the rank 3 black mist demonic dragon, even an ordinary rank 1 Emperor Realm magical beast could easily break through his defense. It seemed that his strength didn't improve in this day and night. But was that really the case? Oh my God, my mortal soul? Lin Feng was incomparably shocked. Flickering with an incomparably bright luster, the ball of soul power in his heart trembled violently. Expand, contract. Expand again, contract again. The frequency was quite fast, as if it was about to explode. His heart seemed to be suffocating. Lin Feng opened his eyes with a swish. His soul shook, and his body felt an extreme danger. Shocking heaven and earth energy poured into his body from all directions, but it was completely blocked by the life spirit. The mortal soul resisted fiercely, as if it wanted to break free from the life spirit's control. His body seemed to have become a battlefield, and the life spirit was obviously much stronger. But the mortal soul was no longer passive this time, and attacked crazily. Lin Feng's heart trembled, and his expression changed. What's going on? Lin Feng's eyes widened. At this time, the black light spots between the two forces were like sandwiched biscuits, constantly being squeezed. Intense black light crazily poured out, but was swallowed in an instant. This feeling. Lin Feng's body trembled slightly. It was incomparably familiar. Breakthrough. This was the precursor to breaking through a bottleneck. In an instant, Lin Feng's mind shook, and he finally understood the reason for the mortal soul's abnormality. Through continuous cultivation, he continued to cultivate. His mortal soul had finally reached the bottleneck of a breakthrough. It was about to condense the soul core. But a mountain could not accommodate two tigers. The existence of the life spirit completely blocked the mortal soul. At this time, the heaven and earth energy in his body crazily poured in, and there were signs of it collapsing. He could not wait any longer. This is the only way. Lin Feng gritted his teeth, his eyes shining brightly, and his mind focused in an instant. In an instant, consciousness doppelganger, Lin Feng shouted. An illusory body, together with the separation of consciousness and the transfer of the life spirit, turned into another Lin Feng. His body could no longer stop the mortal soul from advancing. The familiar heaven and earth energy poured into his mind, intertwining and fusing with the soul power, like glue. Cluster after cluster, piece after piece, continuously seeped into his body, dense and dense. It's the energy of the path of time. Lin Feng was shocked. The life spirit and the mortal soul were originally one. Their attributes were naturally the same. At this time, without the restraint of the life spirit, the remaining black light spots were like tigers that had escaped their cages, completely free. They emitted a shocking aura. Although it was diluted by the heaven and earth energy that poured in, it still had a strong destructive power. Hold on. Lin Feng gritted his teeth. Right now, he could not fail. Although the black light spots were strong, his body should be able to hold on for a while. Condensing the soul heart, he could not fail. Continuous fusion. The soul power fused with the energy of the path of time, mixed with strands of black light spots, looked extremely strange. The scattered soul power seemed to have a life of its own, attracting and condensing with each other. Like clouds, they spun and gathered, forming a vortex around the light ball. The vortex suddenly opened, and in an instant, it condensed into a bright light screen. Whoosh! It contracted violently. The expanding light screen formed a huge light ball, which was translucent and enveloped the mortal soul. The heaven and earth energy turned into intertwining rays of light, moving in all directions, and connecting the two light balls, one big and one small, tightly together. Expand, contract. The two light balls seemed to have merged into one. At this time, the heaven and earth energy from the outside world was still pouring in, crazily squeezing. Rumble, rumble! The soul power light ball shook violently, shooting out rays of soul power starlight, which penetrated the entire soul power light ball. Gradually, 100 soul power starlight, 1,000 soul power starlight, 10,000 soul power starlight, more and more were shot out, as if a huge crack had appeared in the middle. The entire soul power light ball was covered by the starlight. However, the heaven and earth energy did not stop pouring in, mixed with the energy of the black light spots, constantly attacking. Wave after wave, like the tide, like the waves of the sea, came crashing over. Shockingly strong. It's reached the limit. Lin Feng's eyes widened. The huge soul power light ball crazily expanded, and in an instant it reached the limit. An intense energy aura spread to every part of his body, and in the instant it exploded to the limit, it suddenly changed. A huge black hole appeared once again. The monstrous suction force crazily squeezed everything, and in an instant, collapsed. There are only 2 updates today. The next one will be at around 1:30. Please bear with me, I will definitely make up for it in the next few days. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to Chidian.com to vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 250. Bang! His heart shook violently. Lin Feng's eyes flashed with a bright light. At this moment, time seemed to stop. It was completely empty. Everything had disappeared, including the energy of heaven and earth, including the black light. Everything was squeezed into nothingness by the terrifying black hole. Only the core light ball in his inner soul was emitting a faint halo. The inner soul heart was also known as the human soul heart. Déjà vu. In the past, the formation of the life soul heart was also like this. At first glance, it seemed to be no different from the life soul heart, but if one felt it carefully, they were actually different. The life soul was full of offensive power, full of explosive feeling, like an unsheathed saber, showing its sharpness. But the human soul was condensed in the heart, calm and steady, as if it was detached from the world, quietly rotating. The centrifugal force wrapped the energy of heaven and earth, forming a faint film around the heart. Protect oneself. Indeed, it's time to improve. Lin Feng muttered. All along, he had been consuming the black fog crystal, and refining the inner core. Although most of it was absorbed by the life soul, a small part of it was shared by the human soul. However, Lin Feng didn't know whether to laugh or cry. His cultivation system was completely messed up. When a warrior condensed the heart of origin, the human soul reached the second stage and could break through to become a soul, which was the titled martial god of the sky martial continent. Then, through cultivating the heart of origin, the body reached the seventh stage of the martial god, and the human soul reached the third stage, becoming a novice sky martial artist. I actually skipped a level to cultivate? No, the body did not change. Lin Feng shook his head. The cultivation of a sky martial artist was the body. His body had always undergone a quantitative change, not a qualitative change. Now it was just a change in the human soul. Without the heart of origin, what's the use of pure physical strength? Lin Feng sighed. Which titled martial god of the sky martial continent fought with brute force? In a battle between martial gods, their attacks would definitely carry the power of origin. The combination of my spear arts and strength is at most comparable to the primordial fire without the amplification of the Qilin fire centipede. Lin Feng was very clear. Even the fog beast king that he could easily slaughter wouldn't be able to break through its defense, let alone those abnormal black fog demonic dragons. It doesn't help much in increasing my strength, Lin Feng said to himself. Would the increase in speed be faster than using his life soul to control the urgent fire shuttle? His body's defense had skyrocketed, and he was comparable to a bewilderment fog beast king of the first stage? It seemed to be of little value. But, no matter what, the breakthrough of the human soul and the improvement of the body is always a good thing. Lin Feng smiled helplessly. At the very least, he had made up for his shortcomings. Phew! Letting out a long sigh, Lin Feng withdrew from his mind's eye. When he opened his eyes, his vision seemed to have become much brighter. But in an instant Lin Feng was completely dumbfounded. Oh my God! There was actually a layer of black fog surrounding his body? He felt that this familiar aura was very similar to the black fog demonic dragon, but the source of this aura it was actually him? Before Lin Feng could recover from his shock, he suddenly glanced at his arm in shock. A layer of black shining scales had appeared on his arm, and it was tightly wrapped. Lin Feng immediately looked at his body. Like his arm, his legs, back and chest, his entire body was covered with a layer of pitch-black scales. Using the eyes of his consciousness clone, he looked like a human-shaped black fog demonic dragon. There were sharp horns on his forehead, and a terrifying cold light flickered on his back. It was an incomparably thick tail with sharp spikes. Illusory armor. Lin Feng was extremely shocked. After a long while, Lin Feng recovered from his shock. With a joyful smile, he felt the changes in his body. The rotation of a person's soul heart could also be easily controlled, although there was a huge gap between it and the life soul. It could not be controlled or attacked, as if it only had the functions of defense and protection. But as the soul heart rotated, a frightening black fog spread out. The black fog demonic dragon's innate ability. My deceleration space can only target one person or one attack. But this black fog, as long as one enters its range, their speed will decrease, and Lin Feng's eyes were extremely bright. The thicker the black fog, the more it will decrease. Most importantly, this black fog did not consume any soul power at all. For example, when he used the deceleration space, it used soul power as the basis to drive the soul heart to gather the energy of heaven and earth. But the black fog was like breathing. As long as his soul heart rotated, the black fog would form spontaneously and would not disappear. Also, my speed in the black fog will increase exponentially. Especially in close combat, where the black fog is the thickest. As my speed increases, my attacks will become extremely terrifying. Lin Feng's heart pounded as he felt a wave of excitement from the bottom of his heart. This innate ability, black fog, was too heaven-defying. Lin Feng did not know how difficult it was to form an acquired, innate ability. Not to mention whether it was compatible or not, just the control of the timing was extremely difficult. If it was a little more, the condensation of the soul heart might have failed. If it was a little less, it would not be painful. To grasp this timing, the probability was less than 1 in a billion, but it was Lin Feng's luck. But most of the time, luck was built on the basis of strength. If Lin Feng had not cultivated both ways and condensed the life-soul heart first, causing the human soul heart to be unable to communicate with heaven and earth to produce innate ability, if Lin Feng's life-soul heart was strong enough to control this impressive innate ability, if Lin Feng could use consciousness clones and multitask, if not, there were too many ifs. But sometimes, when one had enough strength, coincidences would become inevitable. One of the reasons why the Black Fog Dragon's transformation was extremely difficult was because of the Tao of Time. On the other hand, its innate ability was simply too heaven-defying. A true battle-type innate ability. In the stalactite cave. That's not right. Lin Feng, who was sitting cross-legged, suddenly opened his eyes. Frowning slightly, Lin Feng slowly shook his head with a contemplative look in his eyes. The incantation on the 4th page of Secret of Souls can't be cultivated by a human soul. The life soul and human soul seemed the same, but in fact they were completely different. It seems that I have to buy a new cultivation technique, Lin Feng muttered softly. Although I can use the vigorous python technique, the effect is extremely weak. Lin Feng exhaled softly. Just as he was about to summon his consciousness clone into the cultivation space, he suddenly froze, as if he had thought of something. Lin Feng's eyes suddenly lit up, and a brand new secret manual appeared in his hand. The golden cover made it look noble. Golden Dragon Aura Technique. It was one of the rewards he had received in the Advanced Apprentice examination. Back then, because he didn't know the doling language, he had thrown it aside. Then, because his body's strength was limited, his control over his life-soul had improved by leaps and bounds. It had become the mainstream of his battle strength, and he had completely forgotten about it. But now, I wonder if I can cultivate it? Lin Feng's eyes flashed, and he immediately opened it. Instantly, a beam of dazzling golden light shone brightly. Roar! A shocking dragon roar sounded. In front of Lin Feng's eyes, a bright golden dragon suddenly appeared, spiraling upwards. So domineering! Lin Feng frowned slightly. The powerful aura was even stronger than the Black Mist demonic dragon, and it was shocking. It wasn't strength, but a kind of temperament. It was bloodline. Hua! He flipped open the book and the illusion disappeared. What entered his eyes was the Golden Dragon Aura Technique's wedge. It seemed to be carved with a golden pen, and the 5 dragon-shaped words were filled with a mysterious feeling. Below the 5 words, there was a paragraph of black handwriting. It was flamboyant and full of vitality. Last time, he couldn't understand it. But this time, he could see it clearly. 6-star War God Heart Technique. It was created by Ao Feng, the genius of the 5-clawed Golden Dragon clan. Looking at the introduction in the wedge, Lin Feng was extremely shocked. In the secret manual hall, he had roughly browsed through it. The heavenly martial artists were divided into 2 major branches, the martial god branch and the war god branch. Therefore, the cultivation techniques of the heavenly martial artists were also divided into 2 branches. But no matter which branch it was, the value of 6-star would not change. It was the same value as a 6-star weapon. It was in existence comparable to the Aurora All. 5-clawed Golden Dragon? Lin Feng whispered, as if he had heard it somewhere before. In an instant, frowning, Lin Feng suddenly realized and said in surprise, "It's one of the 5 great bloodlines of the magical beasts. The strongest bloodline of the dragon clan." Incomparably shocked, Lin Feng hurriedly flipped open the book, word by word, sentence by sentence. Lin Feng carefully read and comprehended. With the experience of cultivating the 4th page of the Mystery of Souls, it was not difficult to understand the Golden Dragon Aura technique. So this is the Golden Sword Aura that the green-clothed man used that day, absorbing the chi of heaven and earth to transform it into aura. Not only can it be used for battle, but it can also be used to strengthen the body through the meridians. Lin Feng suddenly understood. It was as his father had said. Heavenly gods cultivated the soul, while heavenly martial artists cultivated the body. The 2 paths were different, resulting in different emphasis on the soul. The life soul focused on offense, so it increased the strength of the soul. But the human soul focused on cultivating the body. After condensing the human soul heart, I can directly cultivate the 3rd level of the Golden Dragon Aura technique. The Golden Dragon Aura technique restrains all dragon-type magical beasts. Hearing this, Lin Feng could not help but laugh. This Golden Dragon Aura technique seemed to be tailor-made for him. The martial god's cultivation focused on the heart of origin, but the war god's cultivation focused on the human soul heart. Even if he did not have the heart of origin, it would not affect him much. Once I can use the Golden Dragon Aura technique, coupled with the spear move, the talent Black Mist, and the dragon-killing spear. What kind of level will your strength reach? Lin Feng suddenly smiled. Black Mist Dragon. Just you wait. Lin Feng's eyes shone brightly as a confident smile bloomed on his face. Completely reborn. End of the 12th episode. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to Chidian.com to vote for me. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 251. There were only 30 days left in the 100-day period. The beast horde became more and more chaotic, and the scale became larger and larger. Groups of 5th and 6th stage king-level magical beasts appeared, and many of them even launched sneak attacks from the sky. The entire sky martial continent was facing an unprecedented disaster. In the first 60 days of the 100-day period, only 3 titled martial gods had died. However, from the 60th day to the 70th day, in just 10 days, 5 titled martial gods had died. For the first time, the number of titled martial gods in the sky martial continent had fallen below 140, and the number of warriors who had died was in the hundreds of thousands or even millions. Under the rampage of the king-level magical beasts, they were completely reduced to cannon fodder. Everyone was in a state of panic. As for the casualties of the ordinary people, it was even more tragic to the point that it was impossible to calculate. The surrounding small villages and towns were either too late or were ambushed, causing the towns and cities to be destroyed. Countless residents became the food of the magical beasts, especially the man-eating beasts of the king-level magical beasts. When they opened their mouths, at least tens of thousands of humans were devoured clean. Chiwu City. Within the sphere of influence of the Sky Martial Chamber of Commerce. At this moment, 13 king-level magical beasts were leading countless magical beast territory lords to attack crazily from the sky above the city. The energy shield had long been in a state of cracking, like the scales of a fish, as it began to crack inch by inch. This air force, formed purely from bird-type magical beasts, was the most terrifying attack in the entire beast horde. It appeared and disappeared unpredictably. 3 members of the martial god team in charge of guarding Chiwu City had died, and 1 had escaped. The one who was still alive was the strongest captain, the 5th stage martial god Lu Feng. His entire body was covered in blood, and he held onto his saber, his eyes filled with determination. With his own strength, he fought against the horde of beasts, but, in the end, it was difficult to do it alone. Bang! Bang! Under the siege of 13 king-level magical beasts, not to mention a 5th stage martial god, even a 6th stage martial god would find it difficult to resist. Although Lu Feng had a rather tenacious will, his strength did not depend on his will. With the fall of another titled martial god, the energy barrier was completely broken. The entire Chiwu City became a sea of blood. These damned beasts! The Moon Emperor's eyes were sharp. Floating in the air, a light green aura circled around her body. By the time she led the elites of the hunters to the rescue, Chiwu City had already been destroyed by those inhumane magical beasts. A total of 5 million people, nearly 30% more than Firmament City, but less than 1% of them survived. The entire city was reduced to nothingness, becoming a city of blood. Broken human limbs, half of a body, and even smashed flesh could be seen everywhere. Even whole corpses were rarely seen. Sorrowful cries filled the entire city. Some went mad, and some committed suicide. The entire Chiwu City had become a city of death. The Moon Queen's eyes were filled with sorrow. Her beautiful face looked haggard. For the survival of mankind, she and the commander did not sleep or rest. They did their best to protect their homeland. But, in the end, it was difficult to control. Blue, the Moon Queen called. "What are your orders, Moon Empress?" Lan cupped her fist. "After I leave, I will assist Xiao. Don't ruin the reputation of Shou." The Moon Empress's eyes flickered as if she had decided on something. Looking at that sacred and beautiful face, Aslan felt a deep sense of admiration. She frowned and asked, "Do we really have to take this step, Moon Empress?" "Yes, this is the only hope for mankind." The Moon Empress said softly, "The end of the world is coming, just like the current Chiwu City. When the beast riot erupts, the Sky Martial Continent will be destroyed. The commander and I have explored it again and again. Only by entering the 4 Great Despairs, mankind will have a chance of survival." The 4 Great Despairs. Legends said that they had unfathomable powers. Entering them, only death awaited. The word despairs was derived from this. Lan sighed softly. She knew that she could not change the Moon Empress's decision. In fact, when the Moon Empress asked her to search for information on the 100 Falls ancient ruins, she had already guessed that this day would come. The information she found were all remnants of ancient books. Although it was only a few words, she could tell how terrifying the 100 Falls ancient ruins were. The reason why she chose the 100 Falls ancient ruins was because the other 3 out of the 4 Great Despairs were 100% hopeless. But the 100 Falls ancient ruins still had a chance of survival. Someone had come out alive. Hunters' Union. Thousands of martial artists were gathered in the huge underground palace. Most of them were at the level of Emperor Wu. But there were also 20 martial god-level existences. Their faces were covered and they stood quietly. On the dragon throne of the palace, a man shrouded in darkness was standing upright. He was the controller of the Hunters' Union, the martial emperor. The destruction of the sky martial continent, the destruction of mankind, has long been a foregone conclusion. The cold voice reverberated in everyone's ears, bringing with it an intimidating aura. Only stupid people will fight against the ninth-rank beast riot. The Emperor-level beast, the Dragon Clan, how can human beings fight against them? Do your best for those mortals. The Commander and the Moon Empress, the so-called two strongest human beings, are just fools. People should know how to plan for themselves when they are alive. The martial emperor sneered with disdain. Looking around, his dark pupils flashed with a demonic luster. You are very smart, you know how to judge the situation, you know how to seek good fortune and avoid disaster. Since I, the martial emperor, said it, I will do it. Follow me, and I will have a way to protect your lives, and avoid this calamity. The loud voice spread throughout the palace. All the warriors raised their arms and cheered. Even the 20 martial gods smiled. Betray mankind? What was that? Only living was the true way of the king. After the beast riot is quelled, I will lead all of you to start a new era. With the blood of us true experts, we will build a new human race, and not the sky martial continent filled with trash. Following the martial emperor's bewitching voice, all the warriors were filled with longing for the future. What did the destruction of mankind have to do with them? Just as the martial emperor said, it was just a matter of survival of the fittest, and the death of some trash. Now all of you can go and find some seeds, and prepare to continue the bloodline. The martial emperor smiled indifferently. The sky martial continent is now in chaos, no one will care about such a small matter. But remember, each person can only bring along 3 women, understand? The place was bustling with noise, everyone's faces were filled with excitement and joy. As the upper echelons, the 20 titled martial gods had long known of this news, and their expressions were calm. Seeds? Which one of them did not kidnap hundreds of women and scatter seeds? Anyway, the magical beasts were wreaking havoc, and the number of missing people were too many to count. People would only blame the magical beasts. Who would want to get them? Time passed day by day. In the blink of an eye, 5 days were gone from the 100 days. The sky was overcast. It was pitch black, and a thick blood mist filled the air. Every day, countless cities and towns were trampled by the magical beast army. Every day, countless humans were killed and became food for the magical beast. The number of warriors kept decreasing, and the attacks of the magical beasts kept increasing. Everyone was alarmed, terrified. The arrival of the end of the world was like the rain of blood falling from the sky, dripping into their hearts. At this moment, everyone thought of that hero. Thinking of that Savior, the Son of God, that frail figure, had the power to destroy, and had the power to make people look up to him. Invincible! Where is he? Will he come out to save us? The call of the masses was like a light in the darkness, a guiding light in the sea. It became the only hope and expectation in everyone's hearts. Hero Lin Feng. Sizzle, sizzle, sizzle. The golden air current reverberated around his body, forming a 5-clawed golden dragon. Lin Feng sat cross-legged and cultivated. As the golden air current revolved around him, his body shone with a sparkling luster. Golden Dragon Aura Technique. On the outer layer of the golden dragon, a thick black fog filled the surroundings, giving off an extremely intense aura. It intersected with the golden light, as if a golden dragon was constantly shuttling through the pitch-black clouds, adding to the mysterious feeling. Huff, Lin Feng let out a long breath. He opened his eyes, which emitted a sharp luster, and a faint smile appeared on his lips. I've finally mastered the 3rd level of Golden Dragon Aura Technique. Lin Feng slowly withdrew his aura, and the black mist disappeared. He immediately stood up and shook his head speechlessly. The talent Black Mist is really abnormal. It can even speed up cultivation. But it's really strange. Lin Feng frowned slightly. According to Golden Dragon Aura technique, with the cultivation of aura, the growth of the body will also improve the human soul heart. But why did I only increase the strength of my body, but my human soul heart didn't improve at all? Exhaling deeply, Lin Feng was puzzled. The problem was still there. Maybe it has something to do with the fact that I haven't condensed the heart of origin? After thinking about it, Lin Feng could only come up with this answer. But no matter what, the improvement of his body was very significant. Every moment, every minute, he could feel the feeling of being reborn. Although I haven't condensed the heart of origin, and my body can't transform and sublimate, my pure physical strength is now comparable to a first-stage Emperor-level magical beast. Lin Feng smiled confidently. With a thought, a layer of shiny black scale armor appeared on his body with an aggressive light. Black Mist Demonic Dragon Illusion Armor. The defense of the illusion armor depends on the heart of origin. Lin Feng gently stroked that piece of scale armor, his eyes sparkling. If I release it with the soul of a person, this illusory armor has the defensive power of a first-stage demonic beast. However, if I release it with the soul of a person, the defensive power of this illusory armor can be compared to a fourth-stage demonic beast. And it hasn't reached the upper limit yet. Lin Feng smiled indifferently. Judging from the dragon egg, the upper limit of this illusion armor should be the defense of a fifth-stage Emperor-level magical beast. Lin Feng stood up. His eyes were filled with a burning desire to battle. Bang! The dragon-killing spear on his back was unsheathed. With a sharp black light, it merged with the black scale armor on his body. The human soul heart rotated slightly, and the black mist condensed, making Lin Feng look strange and mysterious, like a ghost in the darkness. Black Mist Demonic Dragon. Lin Feng smiled indifferently. I'm coming. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to Qidian. Come to vote for me. Your support is my biggest motivation. Chapter 252. He spent a total of 5 days in the stalagmite cave. His main body cultivated the golden dragon aura art and improved greatly, but his consciousness clone's cultivation did not improve much. If I train normally, my speed will be surprisingly slow even in the vortex, where the energy of the universe is concentrated. Lin Feng stepped on the urgent fire shuttle and activated the fog concealment talisman. He circled around the stalagmite cave in a circular pattern, looking for prey. It's no wonder, after all, I'm already half a step into the elementary level, Lin Feng thought. Thinking about the cultivation speed of the titled martial gods in the Tianwu continent, he felt that it was normal, and that was only the lowest level, the astral light level. His own life spirit heart was an entire level higher. Apprentice level, star level, elementary level, star river level. Lin Feng softly read. As far as he knew, the Douling world's warriors were divided like this. The apprentice level was equivalent to the Emperor Wu level, the star level was equivalent to the titled martial god level, and the elementary level, in the Tianwu continent, was known as the existence that surpassed the titled martial god level. As for the Star River level, he had seen it by chance in a book. It seems that above the Star River level, there are many distant and powerful existences. Lin Feng softly muttered. Just like transformation, when an Emperor-level magical beast truly transforms, it was the beginning of its cultivation. I wonder how strong Father is. There's an enemy that can heavily injure Father. How terrifying is his strength. Lin Feng's eyes flickered, thinking about how his father's legs were cut off and he was on his last breath, but he still risked his life to bring him and his brother to the Tianwu continent. Lin Feng immediately felt an intense pain in his heart. Until now, he still could not feel his father's true strength, but he could see that his father's qi was very weak, like an old man with sideburns. This was a sign that his life was very weak. Phew, exhaling deeply, Lin Feng shook his head. His father had never told him, but with his current strength, even if he knew, it would be useless. The enemy's strength was far beyond his imagination. Work hard, I want to improve myself to the greatest extent. Lin Feng clenched his fist. When I have enough strength, everything will come to light, and the clouds of dawn will open. Now I have to make good use of the remaining 20 days. Return to the Tianwu continent and face the rank beast tide. This is what I should do now. Lin Feng's eyes were bright, and a faint aura emitted from his body. Instantly, his eyes lit up as he sensed with his heart's eye. Not too far away there were 3 glowing dots, black fog demon dragons. Let's begin. Lin Feng curled his lips and clenched his fist. His battle intent. Within the black mist, the 3 black mist demonic dragons were flying around nonchalantly. 2 of them were about 5,000 meters long. The black fog demonic dragon in the lead was 6,000 meters long. It was as big as the other 2 black fog demonic dragons combined. The black scales on its body were even darker. Its eyes flashed with a fierce light. It turned around and roared, as if it was teaching its 2 little brothers a lesson. In an instant, the 2 Class 3 black mist demonic dragons, who were originally listless, let out a soft roar and perked up. It was no wonder that they couldn't find any clues after 5 days. Right at this moment, a sudden change occurred. A solitary aura suddenly appeared, and the expressions of the 3 black fog demonic dragons changed. That was an incomparably astonishing energy aura. Stepping on a fiery red shuttle shadow, a black figure stood upright. Aurora drill. A cold light flashed in Lin Feng's hand. In an instant, the aurora cone spun violently. Pop, pop. After 2 consecutive splits, the energy increased by several fold. The airflow and the vacuum intertwined with each other, forming an even more terrifying energy aura. The spinning speed increased again, and the 4 auroras turned into a huge intertwined rhombus, flashing and falling from the sky like meteors. Diamond light flash! Lin Feng shouted. His target was the only stage 4 black mist demonic dragon. Roar! Roar! The 3 black fog demonic dragons roared at the sky. The stage 4 black fog demonic dragon in the lead instantly erupted with black fog. Its eyes were filled with ferocity, and a dark ball of light condensed. Its reaction wasn't slow at all. Under the enhancement of the black fog, the ball of light flew at high speed and directly collided with the terrifying cold light. At this moment, the other 2 stage 3 black fog demonic dragons flew up from both sides, one from the left and one from the right. They rushed toward Lin Feng at an astonishing speed, instantly forming an encirclement. 3 against 1, they had the absolute advantage. However, break! Lin Feng's eyes shone brightly. The pursuit wasn't without benefits. At the very least, his understanding of the diamond light flash had deepened by a bit. From the 60% power that he could use previously, now, he could use 80%. An astonishing increase. Boom! 2 terrifying forces collided with a loud bang. Lin Feng's expression didn't change, but the stage 4 black fog demonic dragon changed dramatically in an instant. The dark ball of light was completely cut apart by the 4 cold lights. The huge energy contained in the rhombus in the center crazily swallowed everything, and its speed wasn't slow at all. It wanted to dodge, but it was too late. The cold light directly broke through the black fog and hit the chest of the scaled dragon. Like lightning. In an instant it pierced through. The edges of the rhombus were like 4 sharp blades, and the strength of the energy of the rhombus completely swallowed the black fog demonic dragon. The bloody hole was incomparably ferocious. Roar! The black fog demonic dragon let out a miserable cry, and blood flowed out. It was too confident in its own strength. The huge rhombus hole was eye-catching, and the hoarse roar caused the heaven and earth to tremble, but it couldn't block the call of the death god. In just one face-off, Stage 4 Black Fog Demonic Dragon, instant kill. And at this moment, the other two Stage 3 Black Fog Demonic Dragons descended like lightning. With the two Black Fog with him, Lin Feng felt as if he was in a quagmire, as if he had fallen into his own speed reduction space. If it was 5 days ago, he wouldn't be able to resist at all. But now Lin Feng's eyes instantly changed colors. The rotation of his human soul heart caused a black fog to spread out, and an identical energy aura was released. Instantly, the other two black fog demonic dragons looked a little dazed. They couldn't understand how this puny human in front of them could have the talent of the black fog demonic dragons. Bang! The Dragon Slayer's spear on his back was unsheathed, and it emitted a shocking energy aura. It vibrated slightly, and the Dragon Slayer's spear seemed to be excited, and its battle intent was boiling. What a strong life force! Lin Feng's eyes flashed. The Dragon Slayer's spear gave him a feeling as if it had come alive. Facing a dragon, the Dragon Slayer's spear acted like a hot-blooded warrior. Fight! Golden Dragon Energy! Lin Feng shouted calmly. An astonishing energy aura exploded. Accompanied by a golden light, Lin Feng's talent, the black fog, surged out. In an instant, the two black fog collided, forming an independent space. A resplendent, five-clawed golden dragon appeared outside Lin Feng's body. The two black fog demonic dragons instantly turned pale. Their bodies were on the verge of collapse. The intense pressure made them tremble from the bottom of their hearts. Instantly, the black fog weakened. The black fog demonic dragons were affected by Lin Feng, and their black fog was completely suppressed. As expected, the golden dragon energy is the bane of all dragons. Lin Feng's eyes lit up. The golden dragon energy technique was not false. As the strongest five-clawed golden dragon in the dragon race, it was one of the top 5 bloodlines. It had an innate sense of oppression toward other dragons. Demonic beasts had a clear hierarchy. The enemy was weak, and he was strong. What was there to hesitate about? In an instant, the spear in his hand appeared. Lin Feng's eyes were filled with a sharp light. As the Dragon Slayer's spear vibrated, the connection between the two reached the maximum. Their figures completely merged. One with the spear. Like a stream of light, the acceleration of the black fog caused Lin Feng's speed to increase exponentially. At this moment, the power of the spear reached an astonishing level after the speed increased. Like lightning, it transformed into a huge golden dragon and pierced through the chest of one of the black fog demonic dragons. Boom! 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 A shocking explosion sounded. It was incomparably intense. The golden dragon energy was extremely powerful. It effortlessly caused great damage. Clang! The Dragon Slayer's spear trembled violently. The black fog demonic dragon let out a trembling cry of fear. It was a cry of fear before death. All the blood essence in its body was sucked dry by the Dragon Slayer's spear in the blink of an eye. At this moment, the other black fog demonic dragon saw that its companion had died. It went crazy and erupted hysterically. Although it could not unleash its full strength due to the golden dragon's suppression, however, he still charged forward without any fear of death. However, the difference in strength could not be made up for with courage. Unstoppable! Lin Feng shouted. The sharp spear light shone with a dazzling golden light. It gathered at the tip of the spear. With the extreme enhancement of the black fog talent, Meng Chao's speed suddenly increased exponentially. Lin Feng was like a golden arrow, piercing through the air. The pitch-black illusory armor on the outside of his body exuded an astonishing aura. The huge dragon tail shone with a cold light as it swung ferociously. In an instant, the golden dragon flashed. The Dragon Slayer's spear attacked wildly. Lin Feng's eyes shone with a sharp light. Boom! Boom! Black fog spread. The two Stage 3 Black Fog demonic dragons could not resist at all. The Dragon Slayer's spear was like the nemesis of the dragon race. The pitch-black spear shone with a bright luster and exploded with power that was far beyond imagination. The first time it showed its might, it drank dragon blood. Lin Feng grabbed the inner core with his right hand and threw it into the purple ring. 1 core. 2 cores. 3 cores. This hunt was much easier than he had imagined. This was not a battle. It was a massacre. It was a crazy massacre. The golden dragon energy restrained the power of the black fog. Not only did the two Black Fog demonic dragons fail to gain the upper hand with the Black Fog talent, but they were also restrained by Lin Feng. After a while, the gap between them became even greater. In addition, the Dragon Slayer's spear caused astonishing damage to the dragon race. It resulted in such an astonishing result. It's very easy. Lin Feng smiled. He did not even need to reveal half of his trump card. Just by relying on the Aurora All and the Dragon Slayer's spear, he easily killed 3 Black Fog demonic dragons. The Golden Dragon Aura technique is much stronger than I imagined. Continue. Lin Feng smiled. The purple ring stored the 3 dragon corpses. The urgent fire shuttle flew quickly, and Lin Feng disappeared. The hunt had just begun. Second update, continue writing. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to Chidian.com to vote for me. Your support is my biggest motivation. You're tuning in to the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.